Hello everyone and welcome back to Dungeon Delvers, the channel of geeky people who delve deeper into the realms of Dungeons and Dragons. I am here once again with the cast of the Dungeon Delvers. Say hello everyone.
No.
Hi!
That was so enthusiastic. That was brilliant. We are back once again with the Ram and the Frost Maiden campaign. We have been running for God knows how many weeks now. I know we're on Act 23. I know that for a fact. We're on Act 20 or 23 if you're German, for my German friends out there. Yes, we appreciate all the likes, comments, follows, and subscribes on the YouTube channel, which you are now. But if you want to fancy going over to the Dungeon Delvers with a Z on Instagram, go and check out some of the stuff on there. I know we're having some technical issues at the moment, so they shall be sorted ASAP. But we should be up and running as normal soon as. But yeah, go give us a follow. Because, you know, we don't do this stuff for free. Yeah, we do this stuff for free.
Yeah, we do.
We definitely do.
What are you on about?
You guys are getting paid?
Yeah.
Yeah? The phrase is just hiding with the money you made.
Yeah.
No?
No, we don't get paid. So, in kindness. We get paid in kindness, guys. That's how we get paid. So, yes, we are on episode 23. I'm on right. We're on 23, aren't we?
We are on 23, yeah.
Amazing. Have we got any announcements for tonight, or are we just jumping in?
Jumping in, I think.
We got no announcements
Let's
for
just
tonight.
jump right into this.
We could do how many Scottish accent Fraser can do tonight. I mean, that could be in a...
Just every character going to be Scottish. Scattish.
Scottish.
Scottish. That is actually... I'm going to make that an accent. It's
Scattish?
going to be, but yeah, why not?
Lots of
It's just a very
Yeah, but in a
jazzy
Scottish accent. Yeah.
Blah, ba, 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 do, bo. Right. Okay, amazing.
Think of that cat meme.
Last we left off, our party was up against a frost troll that lay under the crossing bridge into the Icewind Dale itself. It ambushed Saya as the party was crossing over on the way to Karkolohk, led by their tour guide, or escort, Woober. It took some time doing some dangerous searching through the bridge, but the troll nonetheless ambushed Saya. It took some time to kill the troll, as it was capable of healing itself, and its cold, deadly aura, as they cut and sliced it back, it finally fell as Jackal took the final blow, slaying the beast that guarded the bridge. After it had fallen, the cold aura had stopped, as Salvation took some interest in pulling apart, learning much about the beast's anatomy. Tinkering delicately, she noticed the chest cavity was glowing a light blue, and warned the party that it did so. Then, moving towards a place of rest, Salvation realised the powers of Bane, and utilised, I should say, the powers of Bane, and awoke one of the corpses that the troll had dealt with earlier, where it would follow her and obey her commands. The rest of the party inspected the dead corpses littered around this resting post, and sat at the opposite side of the bridge to find a sheltered area to rest. Doing just that, Sentry uncovered an unnerving, frozen-in-time bodies that resembled a couple before their last frozen moments before death, before getting their heads neatly chopped off by Salvation and placed into the beds to finally rest, I would say. Making their way further south into the mountainscapes of Icewind Dale, close to the spine of the world, Woober led them to a long, straight path, winding in and out of the landscape into some of the alcoves. Sentry suddenly became incapacitated, with thoughts of alien life, where travelling thoughts through his mind as flashes, seeing through the eyes of the Mind Flayer form once more. Taking a few swings at the party, Sentry then snapped out of this vision, not understanding what he had just seen. Finally, a small alcoved area meeting them between the mountains, where the party set up the dome once more. Salvation checked on a suspicion that gave her more questions than answered by sending a message to Batul. They headed towards the mountains where Karkolohk resides. Following Ruba, after a few more hours of travel, they find themselves at the gates of Karkolohk. So, party of no name, you find yourself. The wind blowing in your face quite forcibly, if that's a word, with force, as you are a few hundred feet from the ground. Just in front of you is a glimpse of a small ish from this distance, a few hundred feet away, fort or some sort of camp with dotted lit fires and an array of smoke you can see coming from up over the top, and a few jagged kind of like mountain spikes of rock, and it's just off the sheer edge of the cliff. And this is the way that Wuba is heading you towards. Are you doing anything on your approach?
No. Just walking.
I'm gonna look around, see if anyone's seen us, see if there's any like goblin scouts or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Make a perception check for me.
First roll. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
Actually, no one's to load. Refresh that. Stand by.
Standing by. Standing by. Bravo, going dark.
You say everything was working before. First roll of the night, it's like, nah, mate. Damn, mate. You're not having it.
Don't want to do it.
There's no such thing as D&D online if there isn't any technical issues.
I just want to use my dice, man.
What's my perception? +9, I think. I'll just roll a d20 for now.
Yeah, just add a d20, add your modifier.
20?
20.
As in 20 total.
Yep.
20 total.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And what are you just looking for? Just looking around? Or anything in particular?
Looking around in the sense of if any prying eyes are watching us, goblin scouts, things like that.
I would say, with that quite high roll, Jackal, in the distance, where Wuba is leading you to, you can definitely see and make out this fort now as the wind is kind of blowing some of the snow and the edge of the mountain across the path, and it's kind of distorting it a little bit. And as it settles, and you get a short glimpse, and what you see is quite a large white wolf in the distance. But this is literally on the edge of where the gate is, so you assume it could be part of the camp itself, not just a wandering white wolf.
Okay.
And this thing is like a few hundred feet away from you right now. Like you can just make it out, and with your senses as well, and identifying animals and life forms, you can definitely see that this thing is just sitting there, kind of guarding the area.
Just chilling.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna
Chilling.
look down to Woober. Woober.
Yes?
The wolf over there, and I'm just going to sort of bend down to him and point ever so slightly in that direction. Do you care to elaborate what that's about?
Oh, you mean Snoggle? Snoggle, is guard. Snoggle guards.
Snuggle, that sounds awfully familiar from somewhere, but... I mean...
I haven't heard it before.
No, I think it's a name of a goblin I've heard in some tavern from another party somewhere before, but... Anyways, this Snargle. What's he like? Is he defensive? Is he a good boy?
Snoggle listens to Wuba and some of the other goblins. He's trained pet.
Insight.
Okay, make a insight check.
Was any kind of deception come from Wuba that he doesn't know how to control this wolf?
19.
That's a 19.
Fantastic.
Good bros tonight.
Yeah, you absolutely see straight through him, and he's kind of like sheepish, childish ways as he's telling the truth. And you believe he does have some sort of commands or control over this beast. It seemed very natural to him, to the way he said it.
Alright then, Wilbur. So be it. Lead us on.
Uber's, we're close now. We will be seeing Yobnock shortly.
Wilbur, what type of wolf is that?
Snuggle. Snuggle's a white wolf, I believe.
Looked bigger from Trakiev, but okay.
Strange question. Strange question. Let's carry on.
I like wolves.
I do too.
Say's gonna sniff the wolf. Just like a dog. Just
So you're gonna try and sniff it from where you are? So a few hundred feet.
no. I'm gonna go up next to it.
Oh, you're not there. Just
200 feet away from it.
yeah.
You just see his nose just extend hundreds of feet. Right next to
Yeah.
it.
So say just
That's what I mean. That's
Yeah,
what
just-
I mean. I'm just saying that for when we get there.
okay. That's fine. You can hold that action.
Obviously,
for when you
he's
see
not gonna be like,
Goes into initiative,
Hey,
say it push the
look.
wolf.
"You've done stranger things, you know."
Say a roll initiative, no joking. Yeah.
Roll for butt sniffing.
Roll for bird sniff.
Airborne.
Yeah, okay. So, what am I? Give me a sec. Are you guys just walking on ahead and making your way straight towards this wolf form?
I assume so. Unless
I mean,
he-
if Snuggles, I mean, I suppose Snuggle would have told us like we'll go to the gates kind of thing whilst we've been walking. So
Yeah.
I suppose,
Yeah.
but would yeah.
Okay. So, as you guys continue on, I shall bring you up to a rather interesting map. Just give me a sec.
oh,
As we are becoming closer and closer to this gate, and you can now see very clearly that it is a half makeshift, half kind of like really nicely constructed fort in terms of the way it's crafted out of its wood. It's functional, but it's quite, let's just say, it's a bit messy in places. I'm gonna pop you guys on.
Like Ramshack kind of put together.
Yeah, in a way. Like jumbles of wood nailed together. You can see a few kind of like random spikes and bone hanging off of it, where you'd assume that someone has made it to either fix two parts together, but it also coincides with the mountainscape quite nicely as well. So these few mountainous edges, it kind of like digs straight into them. So it is really well kind of pressed into this mountain itself. And as you guys kind of approach, and you're becoming less than 100 feet away, you make your way towards the gate, and it becomes very obvious there is a huge dog, also known as a white wolf, standing or sitting in front of you. And this thing is 3-4 times the size of these goblins. And it's got a little, you can just see from this distance, especially some people with passive perception. So I would say Jackal, you'd see this. Your passive would see this. It's got some sort of forged collar out of some sort of scrap iron. You can't see too much from this distance, but it is literally just eyes pinned on you, not moving. Hey, do you want to continue going up to have a sniff, Saya?
hell yeah! I just
Okay.
wanna see if it recognizes me as kind of, because since I'm technically a wolf, so I would see if they would react to me also being one of them.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, Jackal, what did you put that on for, just to remind me?
Yeah, so it's just for the top bit, just as a reminder, because I haven't used it in a while.
Yeah, sure.
So, top bit, pretty much second paragraph down, you have an innate ability to communicate with beasts, and they recognize you as a kindred spirit. Through sounds and gestures, you can communicate simple ideas to a beast as an action, and you can read its basic mood and intent. So that's what I would like to do, please, with
Okay,
the wolf.
that's
I would
fine.
try and like to get its basic mood and intent.
That's fine. It's primeval awareness for you guys at home. You don't know. Just shifting you guys onto the map now. Just let me know if you guys can see this.
Sure can.
Make sure our viewers at home can see as well.
Oh, that's a lot of gobbies.
That's oh wow, yeah.
Oh, what's this green dot on me? I don't think I think that must have been from last session. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah, just take off any kind of
Yeah, I don't think I needed
bits you
that.
may not need anymore. Let's see if our viewers can see this.
It's a big
A
dog.
lot of
Yes,
gobbies.
they
Now,
can.
I want to fight all these gobbies.
Shut the fuck up.
Great intention. Straight out the back.
That goes here for one reason and one reason only.
Mountain goats.
So, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at mountain goats. We just said it. Mountain
goat.
goats.
Mountain goats.
I was like,
I think I
what?
need to do to you guys because this map's I think a bit more shrunk in. I think who's got night vision? I think it's you,
I do.
Salvation, and because I think this map's just a little bit smaller than it should be. I think just bear with me a sec. It's alright. You guys can see this stuff. It's fine. It's just obviously it brings a bit more drama to it when you can see. Just let me know if you're
Drama llama.
night vision. Just changing the thingy on that so you can see and sentry as well. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Cool.
Da-da-da-da-da.
So, you guys make your way up to the gates. Can I just get your marching order as you're doing this, just so I know?
Middle.
Yeah, I'll take front because I was at front leading the party before anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys also might be aware that Woober as a token is smaller, and you'll see the reason why I've done this so far. This is supposed to be a little bit more size awareness on this whole thing, so just bear with us. So if you're a halfling, you're small. If you're a goblin, you're tiny. If you're a person, you're normal size. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Awesome sauce.
I'll do with my sniff. Or sniffle.
Okay. What do you want to get out of the sniff in terms of?
I just want to see, because I've never tried this before, to see if wolves and dogs kind of can sense that I am one.
Interesting. Okay. Would you like to
I
make?
am dog.
Would you like to make a perception? Actually, perception or nature, either one.
Let me see which one's higher. It's my perception. I will roll perception.
Okay.
20!
Yeah. So with a 20, you basically want to see if it smells like a dog. Is that what you're interested in?
No. No. No, I sniff it and then kind of like get its attention to see if it can kind of tell by the way I'm acting and my sense, see if it's like sniffs back to see.
Okay.
Does the
No,
dog
okay,
become
okay.
awkward
See
or
if it's-
recognise Sayer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you go closer up to it, and you kind of like kind of eyeball it, you move towards it and you sniff. It kind of doesn't move and react. In fact, what it's doing is it's kind of got its eyes on Woober.
Oh.
And Woober's basically just kind of about to talk to it as you're doing it. It goes, and he kind of like looks, and you go and give it a sniff. It kind of like looks at you and goes, and just looks at Woober. And Woober's got his hand out like as a gesture. Who speaks Goblin here?
I mean, a little.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Roll your cock.
I can
Yeah, you got
understand it now.
tongues. Yeah.
I got tongues cast.
Okay, so what does tongues do? It makes you allows you to understand and talk for a certain time, I believe.
Yep.
that
It's
language,
an hour from
An
when
hour.
I cast it. So I cast it when we were about 10 minutes away
Brilliant. So you've
so
got
I've
about
got
50
fif-
minutes.
from now.
Cool, brilliant. So what you hear, Salvation, is you see Woober's hand go up, and he says,
Nice dog, down, Snoggle.
Is that the command?
and what the rest of you guys hear is,
Love it.
and you see the huge wolf form just kind of shift down, and you saw its kind of shoulders brace, but then it kind of just relaxed, with its eyes just kind of like staring straight at Sayer, not really reacting in an aggressive way, just kind of standing there. Okay. Are you guys doing anything, or are you just walking straight past? Because he's just staring at you.
I would just follow Woober.
Follow Woober, yeah. As he's done this, Woober's kind of like, he kind of sees a bit of a carcass on the floor, which some of the goblins would have left, and he kind of kicks it towards Schnargling, and again, you guys hear, and he basically says, in Salvation, you hear, I hope you're hungry, and he kicks it towards Schnargle.
Smoggle.
I'm doing my best goblin. I'm sure I'm going to get loads of comments if anybody ever dissects.
Yeah, that's not what that meant in
How
Goblin.
dare you. And as you guys, you can freely move on the map and follow with if you wish, just towards the bottom of the map,
Okie doke.
just so you know. And as you guys are kind of walking past, you see in front of you the first of two outpost towers, or outposted towers. And what you see through them is these large structures that are put together with wood, fashioned with wood and some scraps of metal and bone. And you can see that they have goblins on top of them. And I would say Sayer, Jackal and Oakland, you see this. As you go past, the goblins that are in there all have bows. There's 3 of them. And they're all kind of knocked. Not so much like pulling it back, just knocked towards your direction.
Can I keep my ear out for any goblin conversation I might hear as we're passing through?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be listening out as much as possible.
Brilliant. So if that's the case, just make a quick perception check just to see what you hear.
Huh?
Each of these towers, or watchtowers, are 20 feet tall. So they're quite large. And in the middle of them, you can see some smoke kind of bellowing out from the middle. And some light flickering just on the faces. As you can see that there is a brazier in the middle of them as well. With an 8, unfortunately, you don't get much. You do get kind of like snippets of conversation, but you get words rather than sentences. And the most you hear from there is the first one they shouted out, and it would be, keep an eye on them.
Okay.
Okay, nothing more than that, because that was quite obvious. As you were approached, you did hear kind of echo from this tower, and you heard it kind of in a louder aspect, and it kind of echoed through where you are, and you heard that.
Okay.
Cool.
What's this? Is this a Star Wars droid over here? K2?
Oh.
Oh.
No. Yes, it is, and it's gone. That's a note thing. So, as you guys make your way towards the main gate, a fiery brazier casts its flickering light on the 30-foot-high spiked ramparts that frame the main gate. 4 goblins peer down from these ramparts, 2 per side. The gate is 20 feet tall and fashioned out of cross-hatched pieces of wood that have been lashed together. A heavy chain and padlock seals the gate from the inside. And you can see that. And as you are walking towards the gated area, you can see Woober with his hand out, and he kind of looks towards at the top of the gate, and you can see these goblins, and there's at least 6 that peer down from this rampart. And you can basically see them kind of like, one of them is grabbing this chain, it kind of goes, and you can see this gate now starting to starts to very slowly open. And Woober goes,
we should enter now. I'll follow Uber.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna follow him.
can I have your marching order as you go through?
In the middle.
Very quite far up front.
Jackal, do you still want to be in front, or?
Yeah, I'll still take in there. Let's walk beside each other. Pretty much.
Okay.
Ah, shot on Woober!
Roll initiative.
Imagine.
Mr. DM, did you get what I put in chat as well, by the way?
Sorry, I was talking at the time. What did you say?
Just regarding the choice for my sense thing today, is Goblin and Orc.
Brilliant.
2 humanoids.
That's fine.
I didn't know you could change it. It's welcome.
No, it's a made-up rule that we've done.
so-
Normally I get all, but
So we adapted it for our viewers at home and for the rest of the cast that don't know. Jackal's sense that could sense humanoid, we made it a bit more specific. So basically, he's not pinging up everyone in a 5-mile radius.
So it's not too super OP.
Yeah. Otherwise, you could just go, yeah, he's over there that he's trying to hide from you.
Yeah.
It makes a lot more sense. And to be fair, it makes it fair that he's attuning to a certain race or species as well. So it's 2 per day.
Technically, we're making it more balanced.
Yeah, some would say balanced.
It is a wiki class at the end.
Some would say fun.
Yeah, fun. Why not?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
guys, as you walk through, and Woober kind of takes you through this gate, and as you can see now, the ramparts are full of goblins. And he walks further forward, you can follow if you wish, and you can see hanging over you is a series of bridges. And the first one you see is kind of hanging above you, again 20 feet off or 30 feet off the ground, I should say. And as you kind of encroach on this goblin base, you kind of now feel out of the elements, but almost feel a bit more endangered that you're now surrounded. Some of you feel probably comfortable with this, but I would say if you have a nervous disposition, you feel probably a little bit enclosed right now. As the 2 rickety wooden bridges loom over this area at heights of 30 feet and 50 feet. Respectively, the higher bridge is missing a large section in the middle, and what remains of the structure doesn't look safe. 2 iron cages hang from beams that extend southeast of the lower bridge. One of the cages twirls on its heavy iron chain as is flurried of black feathered ravens tear into the flesh of a desolate creature caged within. Underneath the bridge is a warg with a rider on its back, and you can see this as you enter. The rider is swathed in cold weather clothing, appears to be a rather fat goblin. North and west of the high bridge, resting on the snow, are 3 large wooden cages, currently empty. And he kind of walks past Woober, and Woober walks past this warg rider and goes, and you hear this, Salvation? He says,
Hello, Snussbook. We're here to see Yarbnock. Let these strangers through, please.
the rest of you hear,
Awesome.
are you guys following?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free to move. So as he kind of leads you towards the central partition of this, you can see quite a large structure in front of you. There is a bridge that kind of bridges over the main bit, which is, again, 30 feet high, and this structure is a lot more wider, which you are going up towards. And he leads you up on the left-hand side, and you follow him up a ramp. And as you kind of follow him up, you see that basically in front of you are 2 large rocks, very similar to depicted on the artwork, that spire up to the air, which are roughly probably 100 feet tall. And you can start to see as you make your way around, kind of like these small shacks, and these are like hanging from almost like the kind of like edges of the rock. And these shacks are small in nature, but they look like thatched roofs, but made out of like woven materials such as furs and things like that. And let me just get the notes for it. They're ramshackled huts that cling precariously to the rock face. Their rope ladders sway with every gust of wind, and as you walk past, you can kind of see, and again, Jackal, Saya, and Oakland, you see these faces kind of like pop out every now and again, these small goblin faces, and you assume these are possibly some residents that the goblins live.
I would say just whilst we're walking past Snubspot, Sentry will have said, roll your cock.
Snubsuck does actually notice you say this and goes,
Are you hunking?
and kind of elaborates on that.
Ah! I squashed him! I want to squash Jackal!
Nod his head and continue.
You squashed me, now you're squashing Weber.
Nah, it's fine. He's fine.
And Sentry will just repeatedly say because of all the little goblins poking their heads out as well. We just roll your cock, roll your cock, roll your cock.
And unfortunately, with this, you do say this to these in particular, and I mean, make a perception check for me. I mean, everyone can do this. Just to further having a look.
Okay.
18.
10.
8 again.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
2
Damn.
Right, your
27.
sheep just warming up.
Ooh, look at you.
Okay, so with the 27,
Saving them good rolls.
I would say Jackal, Oaklin, and well, Sentry. You do see this. You see much younger goblins in there as well. So not just an adult version of a goblin, you would assume, much younger and much smaller versions. A bit like Baby Yoda, if you want.
Oh, don't say that.
Slaughter them.
The women and the children too.
And as,
just women.
I hate that.
I'm just gonna have to move you, sir. Sorry, I can't get to where we were.
Okay.
As you guys move forward, I'm just gonna make the guys at home make sure they can see what we're seeing as well. And as you guys kind of move forward and follow Woober, and you've not fell off the cliff, by the way.
It's because of the squares.
Yeah.
The squares are awkward.
You do find yourself coming towards the bridge that you once saw that was 30 feet above you. Let me just move this so you guys can see. So, let's have a look. So, as you move towards this kind of main platform area, Woober kind of walks towards some of the goblins on the further rampart, which is looks like some sort of platform with a load of arrows knocked in quivers, as well as spare supplies on the floor. That you would assume that this could be a place where it's heavily defended by archers or an arrow kind of weaponry. And there are a few goblins there, and Woober kind of puts his hands up as he goes past and says, as you recognise this now Sentry as hello.
Yeah, just same. Roll your cock, roll your cock.
And this 30-foot tall wooden watchtower is connected to the snowy ridges on either side of it are by wooden bridges. Hanging off it are a pair of empty cages as you walk towards the middle. And as you guys do, you realise that there are a few goblins astray sitting on the side, kind of watching you very closely. Not weapons drawn, just staring you right down. I mean, anybody who would like to read the behaviour of these goblins, please make an insight check, feel free.
Oh,
Yes.
Plez.
I would like to, but something slightly different. Every time that Woober's interacted with any of them, I'd like to try to glean how they perceive him.
Okay, yeah, insight check. Go.
Nice.
Baby!
Wow,
Natural 20.
Can everyone say their rolls again?
11.
Just so
19 for Jackal.
22.
I need to roll.
Shit rolls.
16.
Warming up, Sals. Warming up.
No.
Fresh sheet that I made you. It's warming up.
Okay, so I would say that Oaklin, Jackal, and Sentry, you all get a sense of this kind of tension between the goblins, as you can tell that these guys aren't fond of strangers, or anybody coming in is a bit weird to them. You get the sense that they are intimidated, but also frustrated by you, in the sense that they don't really know how to act. Sentry, further to with your natural 20 especially, they look at Woober.
I don't know why I managed to always do that.
Earthquake. Yeah, earthquake.
They look at Woober as some sort of, you would say like maybe like some sort of embassy messenger. You see some as like like a diplomat, let's just say. Not so much as respect, but just so much like they know him, they acknowledge him, and they kind of just pass him off.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
And dangling underneath these towers, you've seen a raised platform with a 9-foot tall golem-like construct with a helmet-shaped head. This humanoid contraption is attached to an arrangement of ropes and pulleys that make it look like a giant marionette. And for you guys that don't know what a marionette is, it's like a puppet.
Yeah.
And sorry, that's on the
It's
like
literally
end.
hanging off the edge of one of these spires, yeah.
Okay.
Wooden spokes, if you will.
Does it move at all?
Make a perception check.
It's another sentry.
Yeah. So
13.
I can check the jump stick instead.
13. All you see really is it kind of like slowly like moving with a gust of wind. You see its head kind of shimmy a bit and like arms kind of like flail as the wind's going past it.
Okay.
Nothing much.
Does Saya see that he's kind of eyeing up this thing? On
Just say see sentry. I know.
yeah, does Saya see sentry like looking up at it?
I would say make a insight check or a perception check. Up to you.
I mean,
doing-
you hella know that Sentry looks at everything.
Yeah, to be fair, that's true.
I would say just to see if you get any more information. With a 10, you wouldn't get any more than yeah, he's looking.
And then Saya just goes toom, toom, on his like on his chest plate. Oh, someone got a crush.
We need to crush something.
I don't. Somehow I thought you would say that. Never mind. And then he carries on walking.
Very good.
Brilliant. And as you guys continue across this bridge,
Hello, Joe, baby.
to follow Woober, Woober kind of like says hello to the rest of the goblins.
Roll your gog.
You,
Roll your gog. Roll your gog.
as you say this, some of them do actually acknowledge you and reply back with and it's kind of like an extra ending to it, which may mean hello back. You don't know. And you see that now they've let you past. That you've come to the only inner structure of this encampment. And what I mean by that is it's an enclosed building. And you see in front of you. Just see what it looks. You see this quite large door in front of you, which doesn't have any goblins on the outside of it. And you see it's quite a heavy wooden door with a kind of like crossbar across it. And you can see that basically as Woober goes up to it, he says, I'm outside in Goblin. And you hear this salvation, the rest of you don't. And you just hear as the shifting of wood and the doors kind of creak open. As inside, bear with me.
That I heard, sorry?
Moving parts.
What was it I heard? I think I completely missed that then.
Oh, sorry. You hear open up. Woober,
Oh! Right.
Woober shouted open up. And inside you see a few more goblins. And Woober does speak again in Goblin and says,
These are the treaty peacekeepers here to speak to Yarbnock. I brought them to his attention as promised. Please let us pass.
the goblins actually look a bit hesitant when they see you. And you can see that they're kind of eyeing you up and eyeing Woober up. In kind of, they weren't expecting that many, kind of like taken back by it. But nonetheless, they kind of look at you. And one of them in particular goes behind, opens a door, and leaves. There's three of them now standing in front of Woober. And one of them replies, and Salvation, you'll hear this. How far away are you from this, by the way, Salvation? Are you where you are, or are you quite far away?
Everyone's. I can't move my token until other people move up, so I can keep the right marching order.
Okay, that's fine.
That wasn't a dig, you guys. So I'm probably more like here.
Yeah, that's fine. You'd be in earshot of it anyway. So you basically hear them kind of talk back. Basically, they go,
We'll go get him. Stay there, Woober.
and Woober kind of goes,
Oh, okay.
and he turns around to you guys and goes,
Yarbnock will be out just momentarily, or you may need to go in. I'm not sure. I don't know what the arrangement is.
I mean, you said something about a dinner.
Yes, not my decision, not Ruber's decision. It's up to Yarbnock.
and he kind of like looks towards the other guys, and they kind of overhear you in common, and one of them turns up and goes,
Dinner, yes, you must come through. Only space for 3.
Dibs.
If Woober, is it rude if one does not eat the food presented?
kind of looks at you and goes, with a kind of like not sad look but a confused look at the same time, in the hearing of food. He goes,
Why would you turn down food?
Well, I don't eat food. I know that in some of the towns of 10 towns, when leaders would gather for a meeting, they'd eat and drink, and it would be respectful to eat their presented food. Is it disrespectful to not eat? This might be a problem.
Ruber says that if you don't eat, Yobnok might take offense, as food is scarce.
I mean, there's only room for 3 anyways. Why don't...
I don't mind staying
the 2
outside.
I was gonna say, you feel free to go in if you want. Well, I'll stay here with
It's
Sentry. I mean,
fine. I'll stay
yeah.
outside because it's probably safer anyway for you guys
Okay.
to get in the warm a little bit.
well, I mean, it would make sense to Sal to come in anyways, seeing her
You're more
magical...
charismatic than I am,
Just-
so
Giving him a little.
like salvation.
didn't say it.
Turn it down. Like,
To be fair, I did not tell anyone that I cast it, and I did do it like
Sorry to be
not
fair.
quite in front of everyone. So
yeah, I would accept that. If you was to go off and do it, is it a spell that requires vocal? Is it?
it's verbal and semantic.
Verbal and
I
semantic.
think so. I would have just like slipped behind everyone, cast it really quietly, and then slipped straight back in again.
Okay. As you enter or go towards the structure, Ruber has obviously expressed to you that it would be rude not to eat, and the goblin compadre inside has basically told you that there's only room for 3.
I'll go in.
I'll stay outside.
I will stay outside.
When Sal, Saya, let's go in.
Humble and hungry.
Give us a shout if anything happens out here. Willow, Sentry.
Do you want to tell Athena to sit here and listen to us, or will she be good?
Yeah, she'll stay here. She'll be good with you guys. She'll listen. She's a good girl. She knows you guys are allies. She'll listen to you once I'm not here.
Pet Athena a little bit.
Kind of purrs.
Cat.
Athena, be a good girl now. Do exactly as Sentry and Oakland tell you to.
Kind of like just acknowledges you at that point.
Go. Yeah, and if we're being permitted to go in, then I will proceed in.
Yeah, so in front of you, the goblin that's kind of like against the door, you see him kind of wearing winter garb. His hood's down currently, with this kind of like weird patched fur and leather, almost tanned coat. He's kind of got like one half of his ear missing. He looks a bit of a much more rough shape than Woober, and kind of like points towards a secondary door to the east side of the chamber. And he goes,
Through that door, please.
Yep.
I like to think that Woober is the village idiot. I don't know why.
Who knows? Do you guys enter?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yep.
Okay, so who's entering? So it is Salvation, Saya, and Jackal. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing.
As Salvation's walking through, she's going to be making herself look like as tall as possible, like doing like, you know, you like when a kid probably stretches up because they're like, yeah, I am tall enough to ride this ride.
Yeah.
She's going to be walking through like that, and keeping a massive ear out as well for any conversation.
Okay. Marching order as you're going into this room. Is it Jackal, Sayer, and Salvation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go with that.
So I've just moved you into this first room, Jackal, and basically what you guys can see, and as you're walking in line, is this quite low and large banquet table that dominates the room, and it's got no chairs. It's basically floor sat, as you would if you imagine like a Japanese table, but a lot worse kind of like decor. The table and floor are strewn with fish bones and bits of rotting meat and leftovers and horrible bits, and this place definitely needs a clean. And you see a goblin towards the end who looks a little bit different to the one who walked in, standing there with his kind of like hand on a sword just sheathed into his side, and kind of like acknowledges you and walks forward and taps on a door 3 times in tandem. And he says through the door,
Yarbnock, we have guests.
and you hear through the door a much deeper booming goblin voice reply,
I'll be out in 1 minute.
Jackal, make a perception check for me. Or an insight, up to you.
Well, that's an easy choice. It's a 27! Oh!
Just remind me of your primeval awareness and what that does to... You know when you chose your 2 types of...
Yeah,
food,
so
what
right
does that give you
now,
advantage on?
doesn't do anything until I actually activate it. So when I take an action to
Got you.
spend 1 uninterrupted minute to like hone the senses in to basically see how many are in the area of 5 mile radius. You know, that shit.
Okay.
So doesn't apply as of yet.
Okay. Make your... Oh, you did 27. Wow. Jackal.
The rolls are with me tonight.
Jackal,
Yeah, I need to be
only
back.
you get this from when you walk in. And you guys are walking in line, by the way. You're not just stopped there. So you guys are all in there now. And you see this banquet table in which you're sat around. And stood around, but very cramped position. And you all see this rotten meat and fish bones and things like that. And Jackal, for a moment, that voice did not sound like a goblin.
Ooh.
And in fact, with the 27, because that's just a high roll, you're absolutely sure that doesn't sound like a goblin.
Right, time to kill it.
Any idea on, like, by the tone, the roughness of voice, what kind of culture it might best resemble, or am I a bit clueless?
If you want to go a bit deeper into it, from that, you probably wouldn't get much. But feel free to make an insight later on.
Yeah, cool. Just let me know when, and I will roll the dice.
I'll say more. That's more of a kind of breaking it down. You've heard 3 words.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, you got that from 3 words. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you're on a good
No,
streak
yeah.
right now.
So if that's tickling Jackal's mind, then he will very carefully listen out for more, see if he can get any more hints
Okay.
about who Yarbnock might be.
Okay. So, you guys stand around this cramped table. You hear this voice come through this door, and you hear the knock on, and this goblin has retreated back to his post, and he just waits, kind of like sentry, just no movement. Are you guys doing anything?
Can have a look around the room.
Keeping an ear out still.
Waiting for food.
I would say that Salvation and Sayer, you two kind of get 2 different experiences from this. I would say that, yeah, you can move the camera in, by the way. I'll just move it smaller. You get two kind of experiences from this, and I would say that realistically, I mean, for you, Sayer, it's not too bad, as you feel not at home, but you've slept in worse places. Take it that way.
Yeah.
And Salvation, this is disgusting. This is just a destruction of mess and a disrespect to dead bodies and animals everywhere. And you just, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how you would feel about this, but probably not on the top end of behaviour, if it were.
So it's pretty much a werewolf hobo.
Basically, yeah, in a sense. He slept rough, take it that way. Excuse the pun.
Just any disgust that she's feeling, though, she's gonna try and keep it very, very, very on the down low. Like, she doesn't want to offend the goblins. She doesn't want to let on that she's looking around going, "You absolute fucking slobs, what the shit is this?"
Yeah, absolutely.
Peasants.
And, I mean, about 5 minutes pass, and you hear some shuffling. I would say all of you hear this. Some shuffling coming from the room. And it doesn't take long until you hear a series of deadlocks, you assume. And it opens really slowly. And in front of you, you see a very small, short goblin. 4 foot in height, probably a little bit tall for a goblin. But he looks menacing to a degree. You see some kind of ampled armor in terms of it's a bit thicker. It has a lot more stature to it and a lot more skins and furs attached to it. As you see kind of bits of possible metal and slapped on bits of bronze and brass and all sorts of jangled bits of armor has been bolted to this goblin. And you can see some sort of, I would say, hierarchy within this goblin and the rest. But you can definitely tell that this is Yarbnock. And Yarbnock is here, by the way, just sat by you, Jack, currently.
Oh.
On your space.
On me. Sat on my lap.
Pretty much, but you're a halfling, so he kind of shuffles in. And as he does, he kind of walks out. And you hear him say, "Welcome all, welcome."
Hello.
I appreciate.
I am Yarbnock.
We assumed so.
Oh, have you heard of tales of me?
No, we only found out about you recently, and you looked very, let's say, regal.
Worst person to say.
Regal? Yarbnock does not look regal.
Apologize, Yarbnock, for my friend. He's quite tired and weary. He's had a long journey, and I know he's very hungry. So, and he can get quite moody when he's hungry. We've only heard the finest things about you, Yarbnock.
I hope you've heard horrible things about me. Nice things about me. Yarbnock does not consider himself to be nice.
Of course, you are very powerful goblin, very strong, terrible power goblin.
You smell like shit. I'm joking, I wouldn't say that.
This one sees the truth. I smell like shit,
Oh, okay. Fine then.
as you
You
say.
said it.
And he kind of looks back towards the other goblin in charge. And he goes,
Will you give us a moment, please?
and the goblin kind of like almost looks a bit confused and looks towards you guys and then looks back with his weapon and kind of like lets go, releases his posture and walks kind of out. And you see him deadlock open this kind of bolt door and shuts it as it shuts with a bit of a clunk. And he looks at all of you and goes,
Have you come for the peace treaty?
We have.
and he kind of like sits down by this table of rotten meats. And as he's kind of like skittering around this bones and dead meat, he kind of like almost looks repelled at it. And Jackal, would you like to make an insight check, please?
Definitely would. Thank you.
Rick was kind of cracked on, hasn't he?
20.
Wow.
Stop it! No!
Wow.
With 23. Jackal, he is so different to any goblin you have ever seen. In the way he presents himself, in the way he's moving around. He's not skittish. He's not interested and inquisitive in a cheeky, selfish manner. It doesn't seem right.
It's a trap.
Yarbnock, is it Lord Yarbnock, King Yarbnock? I'm sorry, how does it work around here?
Just Yarbnock.
Just Yarbnock, well, I mean, coming in through here today, I mean, like we said, we heard some mighty things about you, Yarbnock. Some terrible, some great, being honest. But it seems like you've established a very, very good camp of your fellow goblin race here. How does it work? Do you have to be elected? Are you like born through goblins into leadership? How's the whole concept work?
Yarbnock sorted this place out and built it from nothing. Yarbnock employed goblins to maintain perimeter and keep safe and get food.
So you employed these goblins. You didn't come directly from their family?
Yarbnock worked his way up from peasant, as you call them.
A peasant? I mean, I don't hear of many goblin peasants. If you'll excuse my mannerism, I'm just curious.
And he kind of takes a big sigh and looks at all of you. And how are you guys looking at the moment in terms of your posture? How would you describe? Let's go from left to right. Salvation, how are you looking in terms of this situation? How's your body position and eyes and everything? Just describe it.
Hands resting on the table, still making herself look as tall as possible. Just, in comparison to their tiny height, like, I am large, you are small, and just looking very intently.
Okay. Saya?
Just like a kind of what he's normally like quite casual. Just got like one knee up, just kind of resting his hand on top of his knee.
Okay. And Jackal, how do you look?
So he was sort of sat, leaned slightly back in his chair. He's got one hand very close to his sword, but not on it,
Okay.
like on by his lap. But as he sort of asked his last question, he's just still with one hand on his lap. He's just sort of slightly leaned in.
Okay. And he kind of looks towards everyone, looks you up and down independently, and goes,
Yarbnock has not seen not goblin for a long time.
and then looks at every single one of you and goes,
Can you be trusted?
I mean, we were
We
sent
came
here for a
all this-
reason.
Yeah, we came all this way without killing Woober, so I hope that shows some kind of trust.
Good point.
and
That was hard.
as soon as you mention Woober, he kind of goes,
Woober, my trusted emissary, yes.
he kind of like goes over and almost checks the east side door so it's checked. Do you do anything as he goes over? So he just checks it's locked.
No.
No, just very carefully watching
Yeah.
him.
He's unarmed, by the way, in terms of weapons, so he hasn't got anything on him that you see. And at the moment, he kind of looks at you all and kind of, again, just scans the room, just gets the vibe of this place. His posture drops and goes,
Yarbnock has had enough.
and he clicks his fingers, and what you all see in front of you is
Batal! No,
Oh my goodness!
It's been the mage all along.
Oh my god, she's been leading the goblins!
I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling in. Shit! Yarbnock is old man Jenkins!
oh, my God.
Oh, you've been controlling the goblins? Yes, why do you think I left you in the city? Yeah, Athena's like, oh.
Okay. What you see in front of you is this strange, almost outfit, I'm going to say. And this outfit is made out of bits of wood, metal, bits of, you see some, represent something off a cart? Maybe some sort of jagged
Transformer?
bits of, yeah, almost like a transformer. Bits of things attached to each
Optimus
other.
Prime.
And looking through the eyes of this helmet of very human eyes.
Ooh.
And he makes sure the secondary door's locked as he kind of checks it, and removes this helmet, and all of you in front of you see a gnome. And he turns around with a cinematic swish of the hair and places his helmet down on the table and goes, I'm fed up with this.
Wow, well, that's different.
I suppose you're all a bit confused. My name's Spellix. Nice to meet you.
I think as he like took off his helmet and turned around to reveal his gnome, I feel like Saya would just be like.
And you see this robust but together outfit, and it looks like he's made it out of just everything he could find. And everyone make a history check for me, just very quickly. Salvation, you can make it with.
This is where the
advantage.
rolls go downhill.
Okay.
I don't know what I have for history actually.
Therefore.
16.
Okay. With a 16, yeah,
11.
just salvation. With a 16, you would know, with some of your studies when you were younger, in the temples and reading about some life outside, just the races in general, you would know that gnomes know magic, simple magics, such as imagery and illusionary arts.
I think Saya will speak up and be like, "So, what made you feel like you should be leading goblins? Why? What's the point of all this?"
Spellix is had enough now. Spellix, I keep saying my name in third person. I don't want to lead these anymore. I was made to do this. I was found many years ago, before this drastic spellscape of Winter's Wrath. Our caravan was wrecked years ago. 5 years has passed. I was walking around with my friends trying to find supplies for a local supply run, and my friends got killed and died and were eaten by these goblins. And I only know one thing, and the thing I know is to make myself look as inconspicuous as possible. So I made myself one of them and worked my way up the ranks, and here I am.
See, but you still allow them to destroy and kill carts going past here? I would feel like you would want to change that if you were a leader.
At first, it gave me joy, because all my life I've had no purpose, no real cause, no leadership. All my fellow gnomes and people that I knew disliked me for who I was, and didn't like me for who I was, and I was a different gnome back then. And now, all I want is to do better. And yes, I can't do this anymore, and I ask you a favor, adventurers.
Go on.
I will sign your treaty and get everything you need, as long as you get me out.
Proposal. I have to say, it is very impressive what you did. However, why the helmet when I know a little about gnomes, but I'm pretty sure you guys know that kind of magic. So, like, why the weird mask thing? It seemed much more effort than worth.
fighting with goblins is a tough feat. And, unfortunately, and he kind of knocks his noggin, if you touch my real head, it's quite soft. So I had to blend in, as it were. Even through disguises and simple simple illusion art, it isn't enough for these reckless creatures.
Well, I don't see why we can't get you out. The only thing is, what would the goblins do without their leader?
Hopefully they would leave. I've tried to leave myself, but they follow me everywhere I go.
I've got an idea. Wait. Sorry. What if... Do you know if there's any system you could do to maybe hand leadership onto someone else and maybe just disappear? Maybe you could give it to Wooba.
I've tried this, and unfortunately it is by combat, the goblin way, and, you know, I don't want to die, and I'm quite good with a sword and a blade, and these goblins are very barbaric in their way of fighting. And unfortunately, no one's been able to beat me yet. And I don't want to die, so...
You see, problem is, I may not know much about goblins, but I do know, unfortunately, a little about politics. If you leave these goblins, without any leader at all, I do not think they will leave. I think more likely option is riot, which would be much worse.
Which I'm guessing goes against your peace treaty and the reason why you're here.
A little bit. You see, leadership is important. Leadership is needed, especially harsh leadership, which seems counterproductive, but trust me, it works. Like, I tell you about Ben sometimes. He know all about that. He very good. But, you see, I think that's bad idea, because I'm pretty sure they would just go on, like, raiding and killing spree on any caravan that went past, which, yes, would definitely break said peace treaty, which we are actually being paid for, and I would very much like that money.
I mean, we did have a second option.
Here's a better proposal.
I don't. Good idea. Yes, what was that?
Right. We've already suggested Wooba for leadership. Of course, you've explained that it's a trial by combat, and of course you don't want to die, so obviously they need proof of death. Now, you've already showed us that you're very capable with magic. We also have two other people here that are also very capable with magic.
Yeah.
What if we were to put on a show for all the goblins to witness, where, yes, you might get a little bit beaten up, but it would mean your freedom, it would mean you'd have to act like you've never acted before.
Guys, I have something for this. I have something for this. This is so
I was, to be fair though, when I suggested the Wooba thing, I was trying to get something like that.
As soon as I saw Easy's eyes open, I went, I knew she'd catch on.
Yeah, and then Wooba takes up leadership. Wooba takes up leadership of the camp. Now, we were also sent here on a secondary contract that was mentioned to kill Yarbnock. Now,
We're gonna get double money!
We were offered to be given extra. I reckon as well, with a bit of acting, if we take this helmet, we might be able to slip our way to get our money. At the end of the day, we then have Wooba, who we've seen to be a very good goblin, taking over the leadership of the camp, so hopefully the goblins will be better behaved. We'll have a signed peace treaty, and we will get our money as we were promised. It works out for everyone involved here.
And, as something extra, to make it really convincing, I have spell that can make you seem real dead. But you wouldn't actually be dead, and they wouldn't be able to kill you, but for all intents and purposes, as long as they was concerned, you would be very dead.
You see, this is very interesting.
You would technically be a little bit dead, but that's by the by.
You point some very good points, and I'm glad I came up to you and share this information with you. However, some flaws. The loser of the competition for the rights of the hierarchy in this place must fall off. They call it let's get it.
DM's looking through notes. They must fall off the Walk of Doom, as they call it in Goblin. And it is a 20-foot wooden walkway that clings to the edge of the precipice. You basically get thrown off.
Like 20 foot. Would that squish you, or would it just really hurt?
No, my darling, I see you've misunderstood. You get thrown off the mountain. Off this wooden plank.
If it's only like... Oh, I see. I thought it was only like 20.
It's like
okay, no, that's pretty
on
far.
a ship. Like a
I mean,
20-foot plank.
if you know how to get to place where bottom of mountain goes, if it's not too far, then technically the spell would actually make you a little bit invulnerable. So technically you would actually maybe survive as long as you weren't actually squished.
I
And then
have
we'd
an
be able to
idea.
come find you.
He kind of stops
Can
you there
you
and
disguise-
Go on.
Can you disguise others to look like Yavnog?
No, just myself. We are all
Fuck!
practitioned in illusory arts, and some of us are born with it, but it's just for the user themselves, so me. To your question, what is your names, by the way? I didn't ask.
Oh, you can call me Sal.
Sal, and what about you, younger man? What's your name?
Saya. My name's Saya.
And the rogue in front of me, what is your name?
Jackal.
Jackal, nice
Pleasure
to
to
meet
meet
you.
you, Skellex.
Thank you. It's nice to meet someone who does actually speak common and doesn't dribble when they talk. Nonetheless, on the end of this plank and 500 feet down is some sharp, jagged rocks, in which I do not think I would either be in peace or in pieces, and I don't believe that that is a great way for me to end or exit this place, because I might as well just do it myself.
You make good point. Yes, that would definitely equal squish, which I do not think it helps against squish.
What annoys me, adventurers, is the fact that I named this place Karkolohk. Does anybody know what that means?
Oh, would I right now? Technically.
Yeah,
Is it one language?
It's any language.
Is it one language? Or any?
It's any.
Any.
All
Shit.
languages.
Okay, how
At
does
the
that
same
work?
time.
That's weird. Okay, so as soon as he says it, as soon as he says Karkolohk to you, you know, you hear the word home.
In what language?
Does it say what
You.
language? Does it dictate?
I'll be able to tell. No? I thought it was.
I don't believe it does.
Hold on.
I think
No, you
people
can't
can
work
just...
out
Oh,
what it
crap.
is.
Anyway, so basically what
Yeah.
you hear is him say,
Yes.
I would have
no.
thought that people would have known that Karkolohk, or home in you, means home in Gnomish. I thought somebody would have come over here and actually thought about my ploy, but unfortunately, you are all I've got, and I had to send some sort of creative way to bring a peace treaty back.
Yes, I don't think many people speak Gnomish around here.
Do you think
Does
there would be any
anybody-
way that the goblins would maybe listen to you and change some? You could change some rules, or are they completely dead set on how all this works?
You see, goblins are barbaric in nature, and unfortunately, they seize and destroy everything they've got, and they're opportunistic creatures. They take any sign of weakness as an opening to gain advantage. If bullying and intimidation doesn't work, the goblins use underhanded passive-aggressive tactics. For example, I don't know, well, if they think that they are being at disadvantage, or that they have come into unavoidable loss, the goblins will basically do whatever it takes to back out in such situations, and that includes bribery, wheeling, dealing, treachery, you name it.
Let me out. There are lots of them, but they are also very small. Could we not just kill them all and be done with it? Seamless effort.
My dear, you're missing the point. There is lots of them. Not to mention the hounds and the dog outside.
We could get Wooba in here and on our side.
I do not think that's a good idea.
Well, not obviously. If we don't kill them all, then yeah, he wouldn't be happy about that. I mean, I'm sure he would like to be leader.
You see, Wooba is not a leader. He doesn't have the mentality to be a leader. And it's almost like I'm doing some sort of field research on these creatures. Wooba is a mere peasant in the hierarchy of these. There are generals or soldiers in front of him in the hierarchy. He is not seen as someone they respect.
But if you respect him, maybe they will.
Not how it goes, unfortunately, lad. It's brute force that gives you the hierarchy in this place, and that I have little of.
He's right. The plan kind of goes out the window in that sense.
Maybe if the goblins saw that Woober had fighting capability, maybe do you think they would then respect him?
Yes, they would, immediately. Especially if it's a high prize, like something they couldn't do themselves.
What if we could make him prove, maybe not in the maybe to bend the truth a little bit, and prove that he can be better in combat, not just against a goblin or a gnome, maybe against one of us.
So you're proposing to kill yourself? I see this, your plan is...
No, I'm proposing that Sal pretends to kill one of us.
In a ruse to get me out of the encampment.
I am very confused as to how this would work.
Basically, what I'm suggesting is, say we pretend one of us goes rogue, or we change our mind on the treaty. We start being a little bit rebellious, and he is the only one that can save his people. I don't know which one of us would be able to do it, and then they take us down. I don't know. I'm just trying to be creative here.
At this
Hey,
point,
Woober, though, like, why not, like, other goblin?
at this point, you hear an unlocking of the door coming from the area of where the goblin left, and Spellix quickly grabs his helmet, shifts it on, and clicks his fingers. And you see the form of Yarbnock once more. And as he opens the door, he continues a false conversation with you.
That's what I mean. Later on, we should kill him. Oh, hi. Put the food down there, please.
And the goblin walks in with a platter of dead animal parts, such as fish bones and heads and some sort of rabbit and hare legs, and just throws them on the table. And he takes one for himself and takes a bite out of it and throws it back and goes,
Okay, boss. Bye.
and walks out and shuts the door. And you see Spellix kind of like take a sigh of deep breath, and through the Yarbnock form you hear,
That was too close.
Unless you have any ideas, Jackal.
I'm thinking it's very limited.
You think it's worth asking Auckland, because she is pretty good at this kind of thing? I think Sentry would have mostly violent options.
Wait, there is
Yeah,
more of you.
them.
How many more of you is there?
Just two, but they're outside. We were told they couldn't fit.
3, technically. We have a cat.
can you not just flee me out of the situation? Can you not just hide me under one of your coats? I mean, I know to say it sounds a bit blasé.
Well,
I mean,
like we said,
technically,
if we
but-
have no leader.
Yeah, they're gonna go crazy, and they're just gonna start killing everything, including themselves. So, actually, wait. If we find way to trap them, if they fighting amongst themselves, then technically they may solve our problem for
Bar
us.
fight.
Maybe we just steal you, then get them really riled up, and then just let them at each other and just leave them to it and hope for best.
How would you start this fight between them? I don't understand.
We kill one of them.
You kill one of them.
To make it think that it's another goblin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Wait. We push a goblin. We go, hey, that guy pushed you. And he turned around and go, what's the problem?
I completely agree. This is a perfect. This is flawless. I don't see anything going wrong here. Just tell me what could go wrong.
Spellix,
You know what? Never mind. We figured it out.
Through Spellix's form of goblin, through his goblin form, he still looks confused, and inside you think he looks even more confused.
I think he's been confused by all of our plans, to be completely honest.
Either way,
Great fun.
this is my true proposal, and the peace treaty is just a coy to get you in here so I could present my needs, and I'm sure that I could reward you greatly if this is successful.
get my wits about me. I do
Bro, we
miss.
can get a
What are we
triple reward.
talking?
I do miss my home, if it's still there. That is, from this dastardly snow.
Spellix, what kind of reward are you proposing to us? We've already been offered very high prices for alternative methods, which we could probably easily see through.
Well, my family come from riches. You probably don't know, but I'm sure I can find something. What is it you require?
Well, I mean, we were at least offered 650 gold just to kill you.
Oh, you care about the commerce and the coin, do you? Is that where you find your joys and your pleasure?
Well, I mean, it pays the bills, it does what we need. And then, if we were to kill you and bring back the peace treaty, we were promised at least 850 gold.
Well, I'm not sure in terms of gold what I can present to you, but if you don't know, I'm a rock gnome, and rock gnomes are known for their toy making and clockwork, as you're probably aware, some of you. And we have produced weapons of destruction. I present something probably a little bit more intrinsical towards you. Possibly something a bit more destructive. Does that take your liking?
Destructive like go boom?
Yes, simply put, like boom. Yes, we can do that.
Okay, I like sound of this.
Oh my god.
It has recently come to my attention through smuggling of sorts, in terms of caravan raids we do, that there are some handheld explosion things that I have no idea what they are, but apparently my kin have made them, and they have become more destructive by the passing day. They're very rare, but they can cause quite a lot of damage, I believe.
I have idea.
Kill.
Well, I mean, obviously, if I could, that is the preferred option, but, like, that seemed difficult right now, and I like being alive, so... What if we pretend to kidnap you? Because I know some illusion magic, too, so I can make us seem much bigger and scarier than we actually are. I mean, we're already pretty big compared to them. So what if we take you out of here, knife on throat, we take you all the way, or like wait till we get near the exit so they have less chance to kill us, and then we go, we are taking your leader, there's nothing you can do about this, and we drag you out, and they can do nothing, so then they have no leader, but then they're going to try and get you back, and then as they come out, there'll be fewer of them, so we can pick them off better.
Sal,
Honestly, I think the first one worked better than that one.
your name is Sal, right, Sal?
Yes.
The problem is with that, Sal, is that will show a decay of leadership within my ability, and they will fire on sight, killing me and whoever stands by me at the same time. Therefore, presenting a
Should
new
we just
leader
do the
in their
first
own
one?
right.
Oh.
The first one sounded
Well-
better. It sounded more fun.
I mean, but if you were kidnapped, if you were taken, or if you just came with us willingly and said, I am going to sign treaty, and then we send message back saying, by the way, we've kidnapped him, would they not just, like, choose another leader by default? Because we're like, hey, we killed your leader, so then make a new one, so then they're not without leader. But then there'd probably still be violence and still no peace treaty. I just want to kill some goblins.
Eventually.
Yeah, I
maybe.
want to kill goblins too.
But the further problem here is the politics of the place. So, we are scarce of food, and since 2 years ago, since the what do you call it? The maiden, is it? What do they call it? I don't know. The tundra came about. We've been scarce of food, and raids have been scarce. The goblins here are starving. My job is to give them as much food as possible.
You have to kill! Just serve them. Just stop giving them food. Easy. Job done.
But it's a lot more complex than that, my dear. But I really appreciate the creative ideas. But can you think of any way to easily get me out of the gates without being seen? Then I shall be all ears.
Luke, do you have something to say, mate? Every suggestion, you're just like...
Honestly,
You
I
wanna
just
say
started
something?
making the waiter away.
Hey,
Just
I'm
for
not there.
that reaction.
Bring me inside.
God. Every damn thing we say, he's just like, no, no.
Quite rightly as well. But these are Salvation's ideas, not mine, so it's fine.
What do you know? You can't.
And at this point, you see Spellex basically start grabbing the meat and tearing it up and just throwing it around the room, looking like it's meat been eaten at points.
Salvation just starts doing the same.
Yeah, and you can basically see by this is kind of an idea of where the rotten meats are. They're not being eaten, essentially.
And then she's just gonna go, just wipe her hands on her pants.
Well, we wouldn't, even if we do a more violent way of getting you out. I think Wilbur trusts us quite a bit, and it seems like he's the one who's in control of that white wolf at the entrance.
Yes, he
Do you
does.
think-
He does seem quite fond of him and the other goblins, I must say. But he was a rescue, you see. He was found on the brink of death, and we brought him back up. And some of the goblins have made kin with him, but Wilbur's only one of only a few, I'd say.
Do you
Thought you meant
think...
you got them like from a pound or something.
What
That
is
makes
a,
sense.
What is a pound, my dear?
Like, you know, for pets and stuff.
No,
Do they exist in the... in the...
you
I just
would
assumed
assume
they probably would.
pounds, not necessarily, because in this age or era, let's just say, if you have a pet and it goes and it's just annoying people, people kill it,
Yeah.
eat it,
Kill it.
or throw it away.
Would you say that Wilbur is maybe the closest one and the one it would listen to the most?
I would definitely say so, yeah.
Interesting. Do
You
you
know,
think...
I think you're onto something good here.
But the whole
Do
aim
you-
of the peace treaty was to get the goblins food. That's how I managed to get them out there. I promised them an array of banquets and feasts. And
Honestly, mate, I don't think that's gonna happen.
but the whole thing is, the reason why you're here is because it was a coy for me to get you out of there, so you could get me out, so you get what I mean.
Well, I don't think there's ever going to be a perfect situation where, one, you're not going to be here, two, that there's going to be food for all these people, and three, they're not going to kill everything.
Listen,
I don't think that's going to happen.
Say, I don't really care about the goblins.
Well, then, yeah. Okay,
This was a coy to get you here so you could get me out.
I know. Well, then why did you mention food?
So they would let somebody go and get somebody outside so they could come here. This was the only reasonable option that these savages would see.
The problem we have here is we were sent by townspeople to make peace because these goblins of yours, they're causing big problem. So if they have no leader to keep them under control, if there is no actual peace treaty, we cannot complete the job we were sent to do. Town is still in turmoil from goblins, we don't get paid. But on the other hand, you are being pretty selfish, man.
Well, compliments there are compliments due. I don't
It
know.
wasn't a compliment. I'm sorry you missed that, but that was definitely meant to be an insult. Just so
Yeah.
that's clear.
To
We don't really
goblin
have
king,
many
that's actually
options
one
to
of the
get you
highest-
out of it.
That's actually one of the highest recommendations. Sorry, I'm mishearing you.
I mean, there's a very easy way to get yourself out of it. I mean, very easy, but I don't think it benefits really anyone but yourself. Of course, you got the magical power to transform into anything and anyone, don't you?
Within reason, something I've seen, yes.
Yeah, so just transform yourself into a normal goblin and walk out the gates.
Well, you see, this is the problem, because we are now being spied on through each of these doors. And currently, he points to a small window that's shut. It's like a wooden latch. Currently, we're probably being not heard upon, but monitored by the entrance and exit. And if I walk out as a common goblin, what do you think they're going to think?
So
You're like a gnome like 2 seconds ago. That's it pretty
Can you-
risky if you're being watched.
Wait,
Well, I did
yeah.
this- I
They're
did
watching
this-
us.
I did that so you would show you the truth, so you wouldn't stab me in the gut before I got an opportunity to say who I was.
Honestly, the jury is still out.
What if you disguised as one of us and walked out?
Oh, I mean, the only small one here is you, Rogue. Jackal, I should say, sorry.
Yes, I appreciate you not calling me small if you want to come out of this place alive. However,
Don't worry,
I mean,
it's a kill.
so that raises the point. You just turned into a gnome in front. If you get inspired on, obviously you're not getting inspired on 24/7, and I highly doubt you get inspired on when you're in the toilet, when you're in your own private quarters.
Which reminds me, can you have a look at something for me?
Of course.
Okay, he
Sure.
kind of like opens the room door, kind of like pushes it ajar. It wasn't locked as he exited. Give me a sec. And you kind of see him push open the door. It's to your north, everyone, and right behind you, Saya. And as you kind of look towards it and you look in, you can kind of see it's quite a small room, but everything inside is quite obvious. This 10-foot square room it's interesting because it's anyway. It should be 5 foot. This 10-foot square room features 2 wooden shelves that holds a half-dismantled objects and other junk. In the middle of the room, an odd-looking goblin in cold-weather clothes stands and next to a metallic, egg-shaped crate as big as he is. So as Spellix is. And what you're seeing is the armor that he's adorned. Nearby is a small fur-lined cot and brazier full of hot coals.
What's this?
Well, I've been trying to figure this out myself. And he points to this egg-shaped metallic object. Would anybody like to take a look?
Sure. Say it's in his dumb mind. He's like, "Is this how Sentry was born?"
What came first, the century or the
It
egg?
came out of a metal egg.
So, I mean, everyone make a quick perception check or an investigation. Just to, how intense do you want to go into this? Do you want to just have a quick look, or do you want to have a look around it?
I'm gonna investigate it.
Okay, so yeah, so make an investigation. Nice.
18.
Brilliant.
Well, perception or investigation? Oh, whoops, I accidentally clicked anyways. It's 11.
Why is it not doing
I'll have a quick
anything?
look. Yeah, I'll have a quick look.
It's not rolling! Ah!
Rolly. What? Keep rolling. Damn!
Yeah,
Come on, do this shit
come on, just roll!
And I'm biscuit
Something's gone wrong with my sheet. I'm sorry. I
That's fine.
can't
If
roll.
you roll a
Ah!
d20,
Hey!
okay, roll. I'll take the first one.
You got a 7.
For 7. So, for an investigation on an 18, Saya, you see this 3.5 foot tall and 3 foot wide flat base egg that stands upright, and it kind of like suggests at the top that it could open like a flower in terms of the way it's presented. So it looks like something could come out the top of it. The kind of like the surface feels smooth, but also a bit tacky in its sense. And you assume, I mean, by nudging it a little bit, it weighs about 200 to 250 pounds. It's pretty heavy.
Looking over it, can I see any like buttons or mechanisms that I could see to maybe open it?
Yes, and with an 18, you see a panel of flashing lights below a bulging midsection. The panel is a 9-digit keypad
Ew.
locking mechanism. Each kind of glowing button has a braille-like bumps on it. And you can see that there's been numerous attempts to try and get in it, scuff marks around the edges, as it's kind of like slowly humming and glowing. It's kind of like...
I look up at is he in his gnome form or is he in his goblin?
Currently in his goblin form.
Okay. I look up at him as I'm probably like crouching down since it's quite low.
Yeah.
Have you tried to open this at all?
My boy, I've been trying for years to see what this is. We found it on the tundra, just left there as it was one of our raids. But it wasn't us that
that stole this. It was almost like it had crashed from somewhere. The impact zone was quite horrific. Basically,
Have you tried kicking it?
Oh my dear, I wouldn't try kicking it. Only knows what lurks inside.
I'm gonna kick
But-
it.
So you.
I have merely tried to tinker with the mechanism on this. I don't know what it is.
But you've not tried to like bust it open, like
Oh,
with force.
God, no.
I'm gonna press some buttons. I'm gonna press buttons. Boop, 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 boop. See what happens.
Okay. Yeah, you.
Can I recall if I've ever heard anything like this as well? Sorry, I
Okay,
forgot.
yeah, make a history check if you wish.
One history check.
Don't. I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
There we go. It's 6.
Six.
I'm so sorry.
You have no idea what this is.
Yeah, I figured. Let's try anyway.
Just for fun, Saya, make an intelligence check.
Okay. 19.
Okay.
I'm smart
That's
as fuck, bitch.
Save.
You go to press a few buttons and you
That's a
can't.
save, not a check.
Oh, it's a save.
Oh, okay, fine.
Do we re-roll or?
Yeah.
It's a different modifier, I think.
Yeah, different modifier. Oh, even better.
20.
Damn it.
Even better.
Fucking hell!
Wow. Okay.
Christ. You're welcome.
Just let me get my notes.
When they get a 20, they win the game.
Basically.
Oh, blue no.
Fraser.
Alien egg.
1 sec.
I'm waiting for a face hugger to be like.
That's what I was thinking as well. It fucking landed.
Okay. So, you start hammering a load of the keys, and as you do, you kind of like. I mean, just describe the way you're doing it. Just for flavour.
So it's just kind of guessing because he's assuming that if it's like a 9-digit like keypad kind of thing, he must assume that I just type in a code
Yeah.
or something.
So you just kind of mashing it around, and as you do, you kind of like see a load of flashing colours. I mean, first it kind of hums this purple, this deep purple, like, and then you place your hand over it, and it like kind of goes white in each key press, and then you go, and then you see just this on the side. You see this little notch kind of like go,
Ooh!
and this small green light has just come up. And if you look around the side, you can see there's possibly another set of other openings with a similar light. That means that it's probably the first bit of this mechanism that's unlocked.
I may have figured something out.
How the fuck of all people did you figure it out, Saya?
Jackal, I have no fucking idea, but just stay with me here. And he's gonna go back down and keep, trying to see if he can do the other locks, I suppose.
Okay, if you want to try again, make another intelligence check.
Yes, I will. I'm ready for an awful roll now.
So, as you go for the second attempt, you feel really confident. You go down, you place your hand on this 9-digit keypad. You go the same similar fashion. White blobs pop up, and they kind of like. And as you do, a red light appears, and the singular small iris of green just sucks back in.
I think you broke it again.
Yeah, I agree. I think you broke it.
Do I remember the code I put in for the first part at least?
Make an intelligence check.
Like, so I at least know what I did for the first part. Because I did it.
Yeah, you did. Nope.
We've seen it, watching him.
You're watching.
Oh yeah, would
Saya
they be able to see?
mash Paul, yeah. And the thing is, as soon as that first, because he did this quite quickly, so you did it, opened it up, and you went it again. And as Spellix has walked round and kind of puts his hand on his side and goes, "Well, I never. I'm not sure whether I want you to open it. I tried. I got curious, but I got scared to see what looms inside. I'm sure whatever's meant to be in there is meant to be in there. I suppose I kept it as a trinket."
I want to open it.
There could be problem, but there other member of our party outside that actually might know what this is, because she's pretty good, like very book smart. She know many things.
You might know about men's legs.
As you guys are kind of like looking around it and just kind of inspecting it closer, Saya, with that intelligence check as well, with the 20, because it was so high, you realise that this object, and you've knocked on Sentry's shell enough times to know that it's made out of the same material.
This is where he came from!
Let's make a sentry.
You heard what?
It's his son!
He's basically a chicken. He's a robot chicken.
Oh my god, like the show!
No, the other robot chicken.
Look, I mean, say you press the right buttons. I mean, we can only. Could we fit the other people in here?
No,
Or,
it
now that,
is a small room.
Can we?
Yeah, I
how
don't think
do you
so.
think we could move it out?
If you can move 250 pounds.
There's definitely someone that can.
Yeah.
Look,
If we go out and let
Salvation.
him in,
Salvation. Why don't we head outside? Because Saya seems to be the one that figured it out. We'll all, Oakland's quite clever with this stuff, and I mean, a Sentry might be able to lift it. Perhaps we should wait outside and let them try and have a tinker.
Sentry fit in here.
With a squeeze, yeah.
yeah, it'll be alright.
Okay,
Right.
that good plan.
We're gonna
Right,
head
let's
out.
go inform him.
Okay.
I still
well.
think you should hit it.
He.
So you stay here.
Spellix kind of looks
Oh,
at you
okay.
and goes. Which way are you moving out, by the way?
The way we came in, I assume.
There are a few secret knocks, you see. That this is how this place works. So I need to know which door you want to exit.
Same way we came in, please. So I take it the left door.
Okay. No, yes, I'll make sure I move. And he walks over, kind of shuffles over the bones and rotten meat, and kind of knocks it 3 times simultaneously, in a way like dig dig dig, like in a kind of weird beat, and you hear it as the door kind of like shimmies open, and the goblin you saw earlier is behind the door. He goes,
Is everything sorted, boss?
and he replies, and he goes in Goblin. Salvation, your tongues is still up for another, I would say, 25 minutes. And you hear,
Everything is sorted. I need to gain access to the others, please.
and he kind of like looks back, and the Goblin goes,
Okay.
and then walks backwards to the back end of the room, and Spellix walks out towards the rest of the party. Would you guys like to follow?
Indeed.
I'm staying in the room, like Jackal told me to.
Okay. Yeah, you can stay in the room if you wish.
Yes.
So it's this way. Would you like to shut the door, Sarah? Or are you staying in
I'll just stay.
there? Salvation, where are you going?
Following Jackal out.
Okay, so you follow Jack on that. I'll move you out so you know where you go. I'll put you there for now. And as you walk out, you see the double doors again close for a second time. With a slight.
Okay, I'm gonna walk down to Oakland. Oakland, how's it been going out here?
Wait. Oh, that hour or however long it is that they've been in there, I've murdered all of the goblins.
The funny thing is,
Yeah.
I actually believe him. That's the thing.
Are we able to have a little scene out here?
Hold on.
Just genuinely, I accidentally could have started a war.
So what have you done, sorry?
Oh, I'm just about to find out.
Okay.
So whilst they've just gone in,
Yeah. So you guys are still in at the moment.
I would have, Sentry would have turned towards Willow and the rest of the goblins outside her, are they just kind of keeping perimeter watch? And
Yeah, so the goblins that you've kind of walked past on the way in, they're kind of just eyeing you up at the same time, but kind of you see two of them kind of messing around with each other, like pushing each other and kind of like stealing. Another one's kind of jerky as he bites on it and kind of punches him in the face and moves him back. You see some squabbling. It's not so much just staring at you, it's kind of just mucking around.
Okay. Whilst they're squabbling, I'll look towards Willow. Are you beside the fire, or are you like a little bit further
I'm
away?
just on the bridge. Wait, how? Yeah, because goblins. How high is like the little wall bit of the bridge? I just realised. I was going to say I'm leaning against. You know, like you got the bridge, like the sides of it, the walls of
Yes.
the bridge. Is it got like walls? If so, how high are
Oh,
they?
so yeah, the ramparts. They're kind of like a foot and a half, so they can just see over it. They're about 4 foot, so yeah, they come up to your shins, essentially.
Okay, I'll just be standing near sentry then. I don't think it would be any place particular. I'd be furthest away from the fire though. I wouldn't be near it at all.
When you're not reading books or figuring something else out, what do you do, Willow?
I don't get your point.
Put your face back in here for a second.
Well, when Adrian and I would travel, he wasn't politically speaking to any of the 10 towns. He would go and teach me of his collecting of herbs. It was his objective of choice to choose.
Are you talking something like a hobby? It's another word for something you do in your spare time that you enjoy doing. I think that's where you're going, I think.
Yes, I believe so. He said he enjoyed the task.
I don't really have any hobbies. Before the Frost Maiden stuff, back home I used to like gardening. I liked flowers and farming. I guess you could call that a hobby. It took me away from reality for a little bit. It was quite nice. Yeah, I did like gardening.
Reminds me,
now,
I have these snowberries for you. It was from prior to going into Brimshander, so they probably
wilted.
wilted a portion, or would they have frozen?
They would have definitely frozen by now through the cold, and they would have wilted in a way of which they kind of kept their form, but it's kind of like
Slightly scrumped.
yeah.
I'll just hand it across to you.
Oh, thank you. I'll just open up my book and pop it in.
Yeah, you kind of pop it in with a crunch. It kind of like makes a funny
Yeah.
sound as you put it in.
Thank you, Sentry. It's very nice. But yeah, I used to like gardening, but other than that, I used to teach my brother things. I don't mind teaching. That was quite nice.
Your brother?
Yes, I have a brother, but I used to teach him quite a lot. He used to teach me how to use a bow, or this thing. I'm not very good with weapons too much. My father is a bit of he has a handy he was one for fighting like yourself, whereas, everyone else I know is all in magic and stuff, so I'm not one for fighting, but Owen used to show me things here and there. He was more for daggers, though.
Owen, your brother?
Yes, Owen's my brother. I don't see him anymore, though.
You said you came from down south with Jackal.
We met partway, I think. I can't really remember where we met, but I come from quite far away.
I believe you
What
mentioned.
languages do you speak? Sorry.
Well, I'm learning some Goblin and struggling with Goblin, but we was good for
You don't know
continuing.
any other languages.
I also speak a deep language, a deep speech. I tried to learn Halfling from Adrian, but again, I couldn't quite get the ticks and tells.
Okay. But yeah, carry on what you were saying. I was just curious.
The yourself and Jackal meeting, you, I believe, mentioned it was on a bounty mission of his before.
He was, yes. At
Well,
this
you're-
point, I do
you're-
lean in a little bit, so the conversation's a bit quieter, by the way.
Do you mind me asking what it was for?
Well, I don't know if I have the right to speak on Jackal's behalf of the story. I don't really know, but I've mentioned to you before about my family not being too keen of me. So a bounty was put on my head. And Jackal was the one that was sent. And that's how we met. Bit of a funny story, actually. It's crazy on how you meet one of your good friends when you're being hunted by them, but here we are. I guess we all have our weird stories.
This confuses me.
Sorry, Sentry. How
I know people would miss one another when one goes on a journey. Adrian's housemaid would say goodbye, and she would say she missed the company around the house. However, no bounty was placed on him.
It's a bit more complicated than that. It goes into more politics and rules and stuff. Do you know where the Earthspur Mountains are?
I don't think I would, but do I, DM?
Make a history check, so you know.
Alright. History. Tree.
Nope.
No idea.
No.
Oh, well, it's quite far away, but the population is quite heavy in the mountains with elves, and elves, for some reason, think themselves to be the purest race of all of them. So, me being half and half, it doesn't quite sit with them, but, you know, they're my family, they had to accept me as I was, and, just through little bits and bobs through my life, we had a bit of a falling out. So through that, I broke a few rules, and they were a bit unhappy with that because they have like set rules in a way. So you know, if you break those rules, it's almost like breaking the law in a way. Or if, like, you know, someone broke a rule in this campus, for example, there would be a consequence. It's sort of like that. But it's a bit more complicated, and I'm just trying to stay out of it. But that's how we met, in a way. I guess that Jackal just decided not to take me in, and we became good friends. So, a bit of a weird way to meet your best friend, but here we are.
Dim, I'll get out a ration as well if the goblins are still kind of squabbling over some food.
Yep.
And I'll present it to one of the ones when they kind of separate for a portion.
Yeah.
one of the ones closer to the unit on the side. I can't remember what you called it. Sorry.
It's like an automaton, but it's more of a. It's just a robotic figure.
Cool. Yeah, I'll just lean down. Roll. You call? Are you hungry?
Hungry. Hungry. Yes.
Kind of shakes his head violently, like.
Just before I give it to him, the thing there. What can you tell me about it? How did you capture it?
We not capture. Fell from sky.
Where did it fall?
Fall. Yobnok knows.
And I'll hand him the ration.
Takes it off you violently and just literally devours it.
The platform out to it.
Yes.
Is it a big platform or small?
What are you trying to get at?
Is it a big platform?
Is it century size or not?
Can you stand on it or not? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like how if you want.
Century size of goblin size.
Yeah, if you want to get to the automaton, how could you walk across this to get to it, or would you need like a ladder or rope?
I mean, it basically sticks out like it's just basically like makeshift bits of wood, just with a extended like timber plank, but at the end you see this kind of like makeshift ropes and pulleys to make it look like a human and not in pieces. So it looks like some of the limbs are like hanging off, almost.
And the ropes go down to the top portion here, do they?
The ropes actually go down to the floor, and they kind of wrap around the base of it. And there is two sections by the end of the timber, which are kind of like nailed into the side, which you assume are the arm area, which is keeping the arms up.
Okay. General watch as well. All of the goblins, do they seem to stay within their own kind of guard pods, or do they rotate often, or do they seem like they have any coordination to them? From what?
Make a. And you're just keeping an eye on this.
Yeah.
Make a perception check. Just see what you think.
Cool. 19.
With a 19, there is definitely no regimented areas they stay in. Like, these guys move from bit to bit. You see kind of one goblin go over the bridge, another one kind of passes it. These guys are kind of staying put, but only because they're interested in themselves. Not necessarily because they have to guard the area. They are guarding, to be frank, but they are basically like towards each other and pushing and just causing small fights, and one of them kind of like leans back too far and gets pushed into the brazier and pats his arm out and kind of like takes a bite out of the other one's arm, and that kind of diffuses while you're out there, and it just small squabbles. Nothing, no regiment, no
Yeah. Guard team of all drunk pirates. Nice.
basically, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just continue to keep a watch out for the rest of the time, and
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll do the same.
Willow, I was going to say, yeah, Oakland, sorry, do you want to do exactly the same?
Yeah, I just want to have a little look out, and I also want to. Fortunately, I don't have detect magic, but I want to like look around for anything inconspicuous, like magical or something not looking correct.
Okay.
Look a bit out of things.
Feel free to make an Arcana check if you want to do that.
Yeah, just anything that looks out of place that possibly is magical. I don't
Yeah.
know. It probably there's nothing, but there's a 20.
with a 24, even with that high roll, the only thing in the vicinity where you are, realistically, is this golem automaton creature, this metal beast hanging at the end.
Seen like that before, have I?
With 24, especially on your nature, no, nothing of its nature. You've seen you've read about castings and things that you could make possibly out of a similar form, such as like an iron robot or some sort of manifesting creatures out of something, but not in this structure, not in this poise, not in this polished armor version. It's more like you can make elementals, for example.
Okay. Yep, that's it. I'll just keep an eye out then.
Okay. And I would say, at this point, when you've all finished your conversation and had that interaction, that's when the doors you hear, and the doors once more open up, and you see a familiar Salvation and Jackal exit, as Woober kind of greets them on the way out. And Woober's just been sat by the door this whole time, and you kind of see Woober go,
Woober guesses you've done something good? Yes?
and just looks at you two, Jackal and Salvation.
We're on to something, to be fair. I've got some ideas, but I want the others to have a look at it first, see if they can figure it out.
Getting there. Negotiations are long.
And where's Wolf? Boy, Saya?
He's inside. He part of further negotiations. Oh, that would is really hard to do the odds like that.
Gotta roll them.
Okay. We'll wait for Saya.
He kind of does that in a question mark.
Yeah. Actually, we were going to ask them if they wanted to go in because your very brave and terrible leader has some questions to ask.
Yeah,
them.
Yes.
Yes.
You're still alive, so he likes you.
Good to know. Oakland? Sentry?
You guys hear this and see Salvation come out and having a conversation with Woober. What would you like to do?
I'll walk over.
Yeah, as you walk over, you see Woober and the doors are shut, and the goblins kind of like see you pass and just kind of like pay attention to you as you walk, and then kind of carry on in their business.
Everything okay?
We are of negotiations, and you are needed to talk about the negotiations. Sayer is inside. He will explain where we are up to so far.
I'm playing with Meg.
She's just gonna try and just look at them and just give them like a prepare yourself kind of eyes.
Salvation acting weird because I'm an
Yeah,
Make a
like
performance check.
I mean, Salvation always acts weird. What are you
Yeah, make a performance check. See how well you do this.
13?
I'd say yeah, sure. Yeah.
Hey.
Why not?
I
And you
Nice.
realise the sentry. Yeah, absolutely.
it's straight over my head.
Yeah, sentry. You're like,
Oh, okay, they're a gnome.
Sentry's like something more going on here. Oakland's like, what?
Are you
Her eyes are
okay?
just crossed, like.
Yeah.
I just rub my eyes and start to walk in.
Does she seem worried?
With that insight, I would say probably a little bit worried, but not so like scared worried, just concerned.
Okay.
If that's right,
Worried.
Salvation.
Less worried, more like prepare yourself for some fuckery. Like it's just like a
She, like, Salvation has been bamboozled.
bamboozled is exactly the word.
No copyright.
Copyright the word bamboozle.
Copyright anything these days.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in.
Okay, you go in,
Yeah.
and you kind of see Woober. You see Woober sees you go to the door, and he kind of goes,
Are you going back in?
I presume that Yarbnock is asked for us, correct, Salvation?
Yardnock asked for them to ask them more questions, but obviously there's not enough room for us all inside, so we have to take turns.
Okay, yes.
And he does the tunal notal knock. As he does, the doors once again open up. And you see the goblins at attention as the doors open. And you make your way in. And as you make your way in...
I was going to say, just as I'm going past Woober, Woober, do you mind coming in with me to explain to Yarbnock why I cannot take part in the feast?
Woober's been told to stay outside.
Yeah, do not worry, that won't be problem. We cleared it with him already. Actually, probably should have prepared him for Big Metal Man, but it's fine. You all get surprised. It's good. You go in, it's fine. He have no problem with you eating. Don't worry, Wooble. We cleared it with Yarbnock. He no mind.
Very strange not to accept food. Hope he's not being selfish.
No, it just means that we talk it through, and it means that he get more food. So it work out. It work out.
Okay. Okay.
And you kind of see Oakland and Sentry enter once more. And the doors shut behind them. As you guys make your way into the door, I'm not going to open the door. One of the goblins opens the door for you as he lets you in. And in front of you guys, you see a familiar sight that the other guys saw. Sentry and and Oakland, you see on the floor just a low table which is just littered in carcasses and fish bones and rotting meat. And to the side, you see a small kind of goblin figure which is has kind of like furs and armaments, a little bit more kind of strapped up than the rest of the goblins. And to the left, you see a door notched open, and Saya is currently tinkering with an egg metallic shaped object. And as you enter, you hear,
are these your friends?
and it
Yeah,
says that
that's Century and Oakland.
Oh,
You can put them.
these are with you? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
and he kind of goes to the door, similar door, and make sure it's locked and shut. And he kind of takes a breath and goes, you see his fingers raised, clicks, the form drops in terms of the goblin form, and you guys both see kind of a makeshift metallic face with like almost like jagged ears made out of different materials, made out of metal and wood. His braces are made out of all sorts of weird materials. The whole body armor jangles and clanks as he kind of like moves around and goes, takes his helmet off and goes, I'm sorry, but I hope you're not alarmed. This was the plan after all.
Well, that is certainly shocking.
I'm Spellix, also known as Yarbnock. But I'm a gnome, as you've probably guessed, and you're going to help me escape.
And that is where we're going to take a break. We're going to be back in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Welcome back. It's been 5 seconds for everyone else, but it's been 5
All
minutes,
goblins
probably
are
20
dead.
minutes. Yeah, goblins are dead.
Goblins
Ollie's cut his hair.
Yeah, no, it's all gone.
Those great SFX guys. That budget, though. That budget. Yeah, so where did we left off? We left off with the guys entering the abode, dining area of Yarbnock, also known as Spellix, the gnome. Putting on this koi in hope to obviously control the goblins. Now, so you have walked in to this space, Sentry and Oakland. You are met by this gnome in kind of very weird, broken kind of armaments, but made to look like armor, but it's not. It's very weird.
I would have probably gathered to like save the descriptions we would have been told everything that everyone else was told. I would have presumed about him.
At what point? Sorry.
Oh, don't worry.
Okay, no, it's fine.
No, it's just the same time, but it's fine.
Oh, okay, sorry, no, as a narration thing. Yeah, no, it's fine. But basically, yeah, long story short, you basically come in, he's asked you, obviously, to maintain some sort of elegance while he does this. And Oakland, you see this immediately, you know this spell, and it is actually Silent Image.
Bless your soul!
Thank you.
And you would recognise that as your background, as someone who practices in the arts of arcane, but also knows the doings of this spell.
Cool.
Okay. And he comes to you, and the last thing he said to you before we went on break was, you're going to help me escape.
And how do you presume to do that?
Well,
Don't even get me started.
well, I was hoping that that Say would help me out here, as I'm the lesser party. Say, can you tell these your friends, please,
Tell them what? Sorry.
how you're going to get me out of here?
We don't know yet.
There.
We don't have a concrete plan. Many of our plans included killing a lot of things, but I don't think he wants that. So we're trying to. You guys keep strategizing. If you guys can think of anything else. Also, Sentry. What is this? And I point at the big metal egg thing.
Okay. Sentry, did you have a look?
Yeah, if he's pointing out, I'll have a look.
Yeah. So you go over to the side, and it's quite a cramped area. You're pushing past all this dead, rotten meat, and you kind of make your way through the door and peer in, just poke your head in. And you see this weird egg, 3.5 foot shaped thing just presents itself on the side of the room that Saya is tinkering with.
And so an egg, like chicken egg looking, literally like cylinder round.
Yeah, basically chicken egg or goose egg or whatever you want to call it, flat base at the bottom. So it basically just sits there, and on closer inspection, as you kind of look at this, and you can see this quite easily, there are kind of grooves in the top that look like it would open up in a fashion. Very similar as your armor plates open, but this kind of would possibly flower out or some sort of open up at the top.
Have you tried twisting or touching the top, so?
I haven't, but there's a keypad down here that I've been messing with. I managed to get one of the locks undone, but I've had no luck with the other one.
Do you mind if I have a look?
Go for it. I've been trying the best I can. I got lucky the first time.
Why are we trying to unlock this unknown egg?
It's a new discovery, of course. I want to have a look at it, and I'm just gonna scrabble my way through and have a little look.
Okay, you can.
Like a gremlin of technology.
And as you do, kind of Spellex is kind of looking at everyone, kind of very confused, like, I'm sorry to interrupt this. I thought we were trying to get me out.
You never know, something inside this might help us get you out.
No.
I go to...
And he kind of like tries to stop you, and he goes, I've been tinkering with that for years, and it... Never mind. And he kind of lets you go. What would you like to do to the egg?
First of all, I'm going to see if I can try and unscramble the mysteries of this one with my brain.
Okay.
Please. So just like look at the grooves, see if there's like a pattern, see if there's like a sequence, and then just start.
I would say if you go and have a look around.
For shit in my head. I don't know.
That is an investigation check, please.
Cool. Investigation. That's a 12.
So, with a 12, you kind of look around and you can feel the grooves at the top where it looks like it would open or something would happen. But as you kind of work your way down, you can kind of see towards the bottom is definitely where Saya is pointing out this 9-digit keypad mechanism. And each button has kind of a glowing an aura around it. It's like a purple hum, which also have braille-like bumps on the edge.
There's no like arcane runes, language on it at all.
No language, no symbols.
Okay, I would like to start then, if I'm unsuccessful with that, with casting Identify.
Okay, is that 10 minutes?
Yeah, so I'm just going to sit down, get all my things out, set the egg in the middle, and I'm just going to start trying tinkering with it and try to identify her in an arcane way. So
Okay.
I'm going to
you can
start
do that.
to. So whether I get interrupted, but yeah.
Yeah. So you start to cast Identify, and you would you like to just describe and give us some flavour to how that looks?
Yeah, of course. So I'll sit down, place a leather sheet out in front of me with loads of different sorts of components with the egg right in the middle. I'll spray some dust around it. So there's like there's like salt mines that you can get that people normally put around doors and stuff. Not for that reason, but and then a massive like arcane room will start glowing.
Yeah.
Like a circle around me on the floor, which will be like a bright purple.
Amazing.
And then that would just keep humming while I'm concentrating.
And you kind of like, it draws the energy and kind of, you see it kind of identifying it with the arcane circles. Would anybody else like to do anything else while that's happening?
I'm going to still be noodling around with the buns.
Okay, yeah.
I'll talk to you. No.
Okay.
I would probably lose my concentration if you took it. Because I'm trying to identify that thing and I'm holding it.
I was about to say, if you are going
Well, no, you can't hold it. It's not a small egg.
Yeah, but I have to have my hands on it.
Yeah, so...
I'm identifying. I have to
She has to touch it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you might disturb my concentration. If you do, it doesn't matter.
I mean, you would know this anyway, because obviously you can see that Oaklyn is physically doing something with it, and if you was to tinker with it, you'd interrupt it. I mean, what would Saya do?
Yeah, you have to touch the thing throughout.
Well, I thought you said the keypad was on like the bottom of it, like near the bottom.
It's still attached to it, and we would say in this instance you are still doing something with it while Oaklyn is trying to do a spell.
Yeah. I don't see why that would interrupt it.
I know, but just saying, I'm concentrating. So if anything disturbs me, I will break it. So just
So I would say DM's discretion on this. If you're tinkering with an object that another person is trying to identify that requires concentration, I would say that you literally don't need, you can't touch it.
Okay, don't worry then.
Yeah.
Don't worry then.
Sentry said you want to do something.
Yeah, I'll speak to Yarbnock.
Okay.
Yarbnock, or sorry, how would you like to be called?
Well, as I introduce myself, the name is oh, I've put the wrong accent on there.
I was going to say, I twisted my face because I was like, Yarbnock changed his voice.
Let's bring back that into narrative. Oh, as I do say, I keep going back into my my goblin accent. Right. Sorry. Sentry, did you say?
Yes, Sentry Dom.
Sentry. Yes. My name is Spellix.
Spell X.
That's spelt Spellix.
Oh yeah.
I've done so well to keep my accents from on this point because I've been so good. Yeah, I'm just saying.
No. Okay. Spellix, you've been here for a couple of years. Before we figure out why you're needing to escape here, the egg and the machine outside on the ropes. Can you tell me about them?
Oh, you mean the construct that we found with this strange thing? He'll point to what Oaklyn is tinkering with, and he kind of goes, well, it's a mystery to me, really, but I do say I was intrigued with it over the first 2 years it was here. It must have been about here for just before this blasted this tundra hit, really. But nonetheless, I've tried trying to prise it open, use my constructs in my spare time, but had no luck.
I think now it's probably best left to sit there alone, and kind of like stares at Oakland and Sayer with his readiness, ready to try again as soon as Oakland's finished. Kind of goes, until it gets interrupted. But we shall see.
And that the same for the thing strung up outside as well.
Well, as a master of clockwork and technology in that sense, I do believe it has a life force inside that we're not aware of. But I don't think the elements have been exposed to see what it's capable of. I don't think it is from this area or this world. I think it is of something we are not aware of. I think it's come from somewhere in the vast nothingness.
If you were to escape this place, where would you be aiming to go?
Before you say that, what do you have on at the moment, Sentry? And are you covered?
I have my brain's gone completely blank. So it's just Sentry stood. Also showing. It's just the small fur cuffed up here, and then in the gaps are the fur outlinings underneath the plates as well. Occasionally shafted through.
Do you have any of your plates on show? Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you're talking, he's getting very interested in the way you look, and he kind of goes up to you and just interrupts you in the conversation. Goes, so why do you ask about this metallic man who seemed to be very similar to? And he kind of like tries to go to touch. Do you let him touch you?
Yeah, same as everybody else. Sentry just stand there and just watch.
And he kind of goes, fascinating. And you move and you talk.
Yes.
That is, I've studied this egg thing for a while, and it is made out of a very similar substance to you. Do you know?
The egg I've not seen before. I say the question mark DM. No.
Well, maybe it hails some resemblance. Do you know what you are, Sentry?
I am Sentry Dawn, and I'll just do the same.
Yeah. And as you say that, he kind of looks back at you and goes, no. Do you know who you are?
Why does this sound like fucking... What is it? What's the turtle's name?
I don't know.
Izzy gets me.
From Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda.
I've never watched it, I'm not gonna lie.
You're just...
Well, I have years ago.
Sacrilege.
Years ago, yeah.
Oh my god.
I wasn't conscious when I was watching it. Just on in the background. But yeah, anyway, he kind of like really intensely looks at you and looks you up and down in your form, and everything is coming, like he's connecting the dots, like you can see the equations coming through his face.
If it's not important to 10 towns or the objective here, it's of no importance to me.
Ah, so you're bound to 10 towns. Is that right?
I was bound to Adrian of 10 towns.
Adrian, you say? Huh. Adrian. I'm aware of these speakers, but not Adrian. Who is Adrian?
Adrian run because he was of 500 years past.
500 years. Fascinating. You do outlive such realms as the elves, then, I say. If not longer.
Oh, did I say 500? Shit, I got that wrong. I literally
It's
just
400, but it's fine.
yeah, 400 and a bit. There's time that I've missed between when it was summertime here and now being this winter.
Yes, and this horrible, vast tundra has came out of absolutely nowhere. I'm assuming you're aware of the blips in the sky when it hits. I mean, it should be shortly. We've been here for a while.
Yes, yeah, the Aurora Borealis.
Yes, the
Beautiful.
flashing green lights, yes. I'm fascinated with it, and if in between me and you, it's probably the reason why you're here. I'd probably carried on with my old ways, pretending if this tundra didn't come, we're all starving. Me especially, as I don't eat raw. I prefer a nice charred steak, but nonetheless, I do need your help getting out, and perhaps we can consolidate and find where you come from. I would be more than happy to help.
After the issues are dealt with, then maybe if it comes as importance, but for now we'll deal with this mess at hand. Your
Yes.
mentioning of everyone being starving and hungry here.
Yes, the goblins, they're savage beasts, and as I explained to your compadres, the only language they speak is violence and stealing and thuggery. But besides that, I mean, that's how I got here, just by fluke. I am good with a blade, but, you know, I'm good with my wit, and I use that more than I use my force.
Do the goblins here, do they eat all manner of meat and flesh, fish?
Ah, yes. Any raw meat they like. And raw, such as rabbit and flesh of wolves and dead things as well sometimes. It does not make sense to me.
The shift in power, how does that come?
Normally by a trial of combat around here. If one of them dies, you have to state your claim, say you're going to take over and rule, and then one must fight another, and the victor will be named as the leader. Hence why I'm here. Some foolish bamboozle decided to take me on, as it were, but I used my cunning and my wit to take him down. It wasn't necessarily brute force, it was just a stumbling act and it slit his throat. But you see the point.
Cedric just stands there and thinks for a quick second.
Okay. Oakland, you've got about 6 minutes-ish left.
Cool.
Did any of the others say suggest any form of illusion to be able to get you out of here?
Well, I suggested that we fake his death and get him out. But
Either way,
apparently if you die in combat, you just get thrown off a fucking mountain, which I didn't really... You know, whatever.
It's called the Walk of Doom, lad. The Walk of Doom is the plank to the far north side. It leads to a 500-foot drop to rock, rubble, and shards of glass and ice and all sorts.
Yeah, so that's a thing.
Well, for 10 towns, we have two problems. One, if he leaves, the power struggle either way comes through, and another goblin takes the lead, and the caravans continue to be pillaged. So no peace treaty or talk, like you've discussed, comes forward, and 10 towns continues to get raided. The other way is we have to find a solution to feed everybody here and continue the food source, whilst also getting him out. Possibly having Woober or somebody else take over with some brain. The treaty with Brim Chandler, did they mention they would be giving food or no?
Are you saying you sent that to? Sorry.
Saying it to Sarah to see if either of us remember it, but
Okay.
yeah, I can't remember who had the
Well, I thought you were talking to him. Say again, sorry.
the treaty with Brimshander for the peace treaty here. Would they have provided food here?
I don't remember. I don't think so. Honestly, I don't remember anything about food. I thought it was just to make them stop raining shit.
Offering from the spine of the world. Fire and God of become peace for fame. Yeah. If anything is written for food, the only thing I had for food was coming in for the thing here. Well, we'll all need to agree on it, but it seems to me that either these goblins have to go, or we come up with an inventive solution to give them food.
Look, I've done thinking for the day. I've gone past my Sayer capacity.
The only other possible avenue would be to have Hoover come in here and see what he knows. He knows the lay of the land. He may know of another farming place for food.
Well, I am curious how you're going to help me, but I will make you aware, and you'll probably miss the calculation, but there are over 30 goblins in this camp. If you wish to fight them, then that is a lot of goblins to fight. There's only 5 of you, as I can see.
Not joking. Well, we did handle an invasion once.
You handled an invasion?
Yes. Well, one of the towns we were in got invaded and attacked by another city.
Oh, the 10 towns are still fighting. That happened years ago, even before this tundra. But, I assume you won, but you need to remember that I believe that they have their own militia, if I'm right. It's not just you against another town. I would assume that would be a bit outnumbered. You wouldn't be standing here talking to me this time.
That is true.
You're well read for a goblin here. The ideas around here, we spent too much time around goblins. We'll need to have come up with a better plan than just stabbing each one.
Well,
your resources here. Do you have oils? As in flammable oils?
Oh.
Yes, well, we do have blubber. That we do burn.
Yes!
Yes, but it is scarce, and it is in some of the braziers, but we tend to use it for keeping ourselves warm. Yes, why?
Are your buildings flammable?
Well, not flammable necessarily. We're in the freezing depths cold, where everything's damp. There is no dry firewood for 1,000 yards, 1,000 miles.
I mean, if you make a big enough fire.
Yeah, if you make a big enough fire, you can burn down anything, I suppose.
From entering in here, I can see different avenues of a plan and idea. However, none of them involve speaking with yourself on it, other than that you need to know that you need to continue playing your part and ensure that we are not bothered or watched to ensure that you can get out of here. However, we shall, once Willow is done looking at the egg, leave and speak to the rest of our companions in a solitary room and continue with the idea. I have some inklings of a plan, however, everyone needs input.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll find some way. The only plan I've had so far, and thinking about it while you guys have been here, is I could... Well, you see, when we get an alert, or the attention rings to the bell and we get an intruder, I am to commence to the bridge to stand in front of my kin and talk to them about what is going to happen. So the only way I could think about getting all the goblins together at the same time would be to cause trouble. And I can't think of a way to cause trouble without getting me involved and breaking this facade.
What if you called a meeting and we pretended to assassinate you?
Then you will have 30 goblins at your throat.
It's fine, so we'll do the thinking with the rest. Your head is hurting. You need some ice on it.
I bet I can find enough of that. I just want to know what's inside the egg.
The bridge, is that the one out to the corner here? And I'm pointing out in the direction over to that side. I'm not sure if we've actually seen it.
Yeah, you would have seen it on the way in terms of over the other side. You would have seen it as you would have behind you as you would have gone up the arch, and also when you were on the bridge with the goblins and the brazier where you had the conversation with Oaklin. You'd have glanced over and saw that, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So the bridge is. Let me.
That's not necessarily a bridge. It's just a platform. But yeah, it's yeah.
But is this the bridge?
Yeah,
or...
that's a bridge, and this is a broken ramp that goes up to the bridges.
Up to either side.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And him saying they go to the bridge.
They go to this bit here. He was
that bit
referring
in
to.
there,
Yeah.
middle center. Okay. Cool. Okay.
And you assume by the layout as you walked in that let me just draw an area. This is probably where they huddle.
Yep.
That makes
Yeah, so some of them obviously down on the floor, a lot of stuff on the top where he yells outward, whatever his plan may be. Okay, yeah, bits and bobs there, all around there, tower there, that was all. Okay, cool, yep. Tower on the front, yep, that's fine.
At this point, we will GTA over to Jackal.
Nice. Okay, well, there's a couple of things I want to do. First thing is primeval awareness. As soon as I came outside, get Athena to come over to me. I'm just going to sit down for a sec, and try and figure out how many goblins or slash orcs are in the area.
Okay, with the 5 mile radius. Yeah, you sit down, you kind of focus in on your internal radar. Let me just count. Let's get an exact amount.
I mean, I'll settle for a rough amount. Fraser's just like, yeah, the 100 hiding in the crevices.
Okay.
The younglings and the children too.
Okay. Okay. You sit down and you channel your inner radar and you kind of blip up all of these. It's so surreal because when you do this normally, you're singling out maybe a few single individuals, but this time you kind of breathe in and you feel all of this presence around you, and it kind of like overwhelms you to start off with. And then you kind of like really sit and think and meditate on it for a few seconds. And you go 10, 14, 20, 27, 38, 47, 49. And it stops.
Okay. Jackal's just going to stand up. He's going to mutter under his breath. Shit. And he's going to walk over to Woober.
Yeah.
And he's going to say, Woober, can you see those goats down there?
Woober knows where the goats are, yes. Tasty.
Are they...
Do you want some goats?
Well, I want to give you a friendly challenge. If those goats are fresh picking, I know you're not bad with a crossbow.
Yes.
First one to down a goat. I don't know. I'll give you a couple of gold coins if you win.
What do you mean by down?
As in, it goes bed.
Oh, okay, yes. What, from here?
Dinner for you. Yeah, dinner for Woober, from here.
Dinner for Woober. Woober's not allowed to kill goats. They are slaughtered by the slaughter goblin, who feeds tribe. Not me.
Well, these are wild goats, which means they're property of the land, so I'll give you full permission to attack a goat. Don't worry. I mean, I've already buttered up your boss. I'm sure he won't mind one goat. I'll give him some friendly words.
Make a persuasion check.
Come on, Weaver. Let's have a competition.
Why are you doing this exactly?
16.
What is the point?
1 sec.
Always a point.
Yeah. Just chillaxing.
What's the counter to that? Sorry, Luke. My brain's gone numb.
I mean,
Is it inside?
if you wanted, there's no. I mean, it's down to you can either set a DC, whereby you're like,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
this is a fucking impossible challenge, like 20 to 25, kind of like high end setting, or if you wanted for it to be like, he gets along with these guys, we'll see, because he's a little bit naughty sometimes. Like I always did wisdom save. It's entirely down to you. If it is something that's like, easy, you set 10, medium, DC.
Yeah. No, it was either DC or it's going to be a roll, but I know what I'm going to do now. So thanks, man. No, that's it.
Okay.
So let's just see what he does.
Yeah, I always, you can always have everything as inclamations as well. So like, if he really succeeded against whatever the save or DC is, then it makes them more inclined or more friendly to help, kind of thing. Like if they're full on enemy to you and they succeed one time, it doesn't make them friends. It just makes them not want to kill you. So got to that part. But yeah.
So I've done the check, and Woober comes up to you and goes,
It does seem like a good idea, and Woober does want to prove like he wants to. Okay, which one?
Okay, well, I mean, well, any that you can see. I mean, there's a couple down there. I'm pretty sure, with your crossbow, you should be able to reach.
Woober doesn't have a crossbow. Who has a short bow, but
sure, my
Woober will let you
apologies.
off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can let me off when you lose, and I'll give him a cheeky nudge.
Okay. Who goes first?
I'll tell you what, I'll let you have the first shot. How's that?
he's so manipulative to poor Woober.
As he's like getting his bow out and preparing to fire, I'm gonna say,
Woober, if I win, and I want you to do me one favor. And
Favor?
any favor, I'll retain. Yeah, I'll retain this favor, but it means that when I ask this favor of you, we'll do it, no matter what.
Okay.
Sound like a deal?
Yeah.
Nice. Then feel free, take your shot,
We've
Mr.
never made a
Woober.
deal before.
Oh, this is a deal. Then congratulations, you've just made your first one.
I
May
feel
the
special.
odds be ever in your favor. No copyright.
Okay. Woober's gonna take a shot.
He gets his bow, brings it back, kind of like aims to the closest one, and takes a shot. I'm gonna roll this in whispers because fun. You manipulative person. Oh no way! Shit.
I'll seek you out.
Okay.
At 20 probably.
He goes and pulls it out. and you can see his like steady aim as he kind of like side eyes you and goes, "What's this?" And he kind of and he goes into the back end of this goat as it kind of kicks and bucks, but it doesn't kill it. It kind of like knocks it on the bottom.
Does it kill it?
No. And this goat at the moment is now
Yes.
thrashing around like.
What are you roll?
He's going squealing
beautiful.
in pain. Yeah.
I'm going to try and shoot the same goat.
Okay. Yeah. Make a attack roll.
Come on, you son of a bitch. No,
You could have just
yeah.
asked him for a favour.
Oh, 13.
13 hits. And you shoot it in the other side, and it goes down to 2 legs, but it is still alive.
Son of a bitch.
It is squealing
Son of
in
a
pain. And at this point, you see.
Give us the sound
At
effects.
this point, you see quite a small goblin approach from one of the tents
fucking dead!
on the outside and down by where the goats are. You see him come out, and he comes out with this kind of draped outfit on, where it's like almost like a slaughter outfit, but like big furred gloves and leather around him, and he's got like these kind of like bands on his hair, and he pulls it back and he goes, "Oi, what you doing?" Kind of like shouts towards you, and he gets his fillet knife and just goes up straight up to the goat and guts it. As the goat squeals in pain once more and comes to a very untimely death with 2 arrows sticking out of its arse. Falls on the floor, and he kind of looks at you, and he goes, he kind of looks up towards where Jackal is and Woober, and goes and talks to Woober in Goblin, and you don't understand this whatever he's saying, Jackal, and you hear,
What did he say, Wilbur?
Woober's in trouble.
Am I within earshot?
Tell me what he said. I'll get you out of
within
the
earshot,
trouble.
and you probably do you have this still up at the moment? I mean, you're probably within your last few minutes. You must be.
It was an hour, so it's up to you how long how long
I
we
would
were
say
in there
it's
for
probably
when
the
we came
last-
out. Because it was
probably last 5 to 10 minutes ish. I'd say it's still on.
'cause it was 25 when we were in there.
He shouted, and it's kind of broken English because it's not like constructed sentences. And what you got from it was, why did you kill this goat? You are already on caution or warning. I will shoot you next time.
Wilbur,
Yeah.
what did he say?
Woober's gonna get killed, apparently.
I'm just going to shout down to the guy with the knife. I'm going to say, "Oi! What did you just say to Wilbur?"
He kind of like stares back at you with his fillet knife in the air, bleeding as this goat's guts are just bled out on the white snow, just filling the floor out.
I think that's going to kill everything.
And he kind of looks at you, Jacqueline, goes,
What did he say, Wilbur?
Woober's gotta back away now.
and he kind of like starts backing away. What you do?
Fuck it, he's pissed me off. I'm gonna do a quick shot, but I'm gonna do it at his, like, in front of him, not so it hits him. But I'm gonna shoot in front of him. Warning
Okay,
shot.
Salvation, as this is going on and you're having a look round, behind you, 5 goblins are seeing all of this happen, and each one of them is starting to draw their short bow.
Well,
Christ.
looks like we have to go with my plan.
Jackal.
I would
I
like
would-
everyone
Yes!
initiative.
Well, I was going to say, it's only them outside, isn't it?
At the moment, yeah, at the moment it's just them outside. Ollie, if you could do the
That's how we're
honours.
getting them out.
Ollie, if you could do the honours, Maestro, if you please.
Yes, 1 second.
I'll be continuing to
Yes!
myself. Undisturbed.
Oh, no.
How much have I got left? By the way?
I would say this. You've done it by now. By that conversation outside would have happened. Yeah.
You can always come out of initiative anyway.
I know, but I've done it now, so I can, you know.
This is where the fun begins.
You can always come back out of initiative.
God, I hate you guys making me roll for 49 gold.
Natural 20, sir. Nice.
Hey, I just didn't want him to disrespect Woober.
Kill all the goblins.
You guys,
I didn't like Woober at first, but
We'll
now
have to
Woober's
work
become a
out
homie.
if we get commotion at some point.
guys, man.
Well, don't look at it. It was Jamie's fault.
There we go, man. No, it was Woober's fault.
You can always come back out of an initiative.
I shot a goat.
Yeah. And then you tried to shoot the guy.
I mean, it was the king's goat.
That didn't happen yet.
Context.
Has everyone rolled initiative that's outside? Yes, they have. Can you roll for Athena as well? Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Salvation. You see these goblins going for their short bows and notching it towards where Jackal is coming from. What do you do?
Salvation's just gonna go, shit. And she's going to run back here where Jackal and Woober are, kind of put her arms out to motion for them to stay behind her.
Yeah.
And then from this point here, radius 60 feet outwards, she's going to cast Darkness.
Okay. Okay.
You're going to see, much like when we fought the Shadow People, an inky black darkness radiate out 60 feet. So all of the goblins in front of us will be blinded and won't be able to see us.
Would you like to draw that radius out for me so I know where it is?
Nice.
I can certainly try.
Please don't
Give
get
me a...
lost in the darkness.
That's why you're behind me.
So it's Spider-Man. I cannot see you. You cannot see me. I am hidden.
I love that.
You can't see me.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Sound coming to the rescue.
Brilliant.
I'm glad I've got to use it. Hang on. I'm not zoomed out far enough.
I love that spell so much.
Like
Oh
this
Jesus
music, though. This
Christ, that's
music's
so
fun.
far.
Yeah, this map is.
I can't zoom out that far. Goblins are small.
Yep. They're goblins.
I actually think this map's 1 square is 10 feet. So
Yeah, that's the amount of colour. Oh wait, every square is 10 foot.
yeah, so it's so confusing on this. I will hold on. Let me just bring this out to you. It does actually say it. Look, if I bring this forward, can you see that at the top? Hold on. Hold on. I can't move it. No, I can't. No, damn.
Could be.
Yeah, look. If hold on.
No, it's counted as 5 foot.
Yeah, I know it is on the map, but for some reason, look. If I move you here, look. 1 square is 10 feet.
Oh.
Weird.
Wait, what?
Yeah, 1 square is 10 feet, not 5.
But we're filling the whole square.
I know. It doesn't make sense. We'll play it as 5
Jesus.
feet. We'll play it as 5 feet for now.
But I can make it smaller.
You make it 10 foot, and then every time that we move, we just have to
Double the move.
10 foot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We'll stick with
Yeah,
that. We'll stick
so-
with that rule. We'll stick with that rule.
Okay, in that case, I need to figure out how the fuck to delete this.
It's fine. Let me. So.
Control. If you like
Fine.
select over it,
It's
the blue
'cause I'm-
square, then you press delete. You'll do it.
I can delete that one for you.
Yeah, thank you. And that one that I just drew by accident.
15.
Alright, so it's
There.
actually
15.
here.
Oh wait, shit.
Such a great spell.
I mean, it doesn't go as far as I thought it would, but it goes far enough. Is that square?
10.
So it's 6
Yeah.
squares each side. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be an exact square anyway. It'd be
Okay. So you're gonna cast it on
Let's see,
straight on
but-
the bridge. Yeah. No problem.
from
better
that
get Woober
point
to control that dog if it
outwards,
attacks
yeah.
us.
Okay. Brill. And how high does it go? It goes 15-foot radius, so 15 foot high. I'm guessing, is it?
Yeah.
Is 60 feet action.
I was gonna say it'll be. Ever so
Sorry to
close.
everyone at home. It's the first time I've used it.
Yeah, I would say.
Oh yeah, but a 15-foot radius. It's still it's 30 feet circumference then.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, it's only because this is 10 foot though.
You can cast.
So I'd need to do it as a circle.
60 feet. It fills a 15-foot radius sphere.
Oh shit! Yeah, because the squares. Oh.
So the
oh,
range.
I was
You
right.
can
It
cast it.
would only be like a square smaller.
You can cast it at 60 feet, but the range is 10 to 15 foot.
Oh, I was thinking, I was like, yeah, but it is 30 feet because I've just measured 30 feet because the squares are wrong. Oh, okay. Well, I just want it to be over the. What's the bow's drawn us? There, yeah, but like more over to the left. Yeah. So
like that kind of thing and over there.
That's exactly what I want. Yeah, that.
If you want to draw a circle, by the way, hold Alt when you try to do a square, and it'll change to a circle.
Good tip.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know that.
Obviously, it's 10 foot, so.
Yeah, just remember, I'm on an unfamiliar keyboard as well, so I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's fine. Perfect. Okay, so you cast the incantation. You see Jackal. You see the familiar black smoke, almost kind of hitting the nerves as you think these shadow entities are coming back. But you see Salvation casting the spell. Would you like to do anything else with your turn, Salvation?
I don't think there's anything else I can do. No.
Is that a 15-foot radius, Luke? Just my interest.
Yeah,
yeah.
roughly, because obviously it's 10 foot, so you can only go. It's 20-foot radius, but we can't make it. Yeah.
Oh.
Fine, I will allow it for the situation.
The map is wrong. No.
Yeah,
map
it'll circumference all of those goblins in that area, but it's only half a square too big.
Yeah, I get that. It's fine. Is that your go?
I do believe so. Yeah.
Okay. If that's your go, next up is the goblins' go. At the moment, the only ones that can see you, realistically, are... Well, those are enshrouded in darkness. So as they kind of like see this coming up from the ground, this mystical ground dark just kind of like apparate around them, they go... and they kind of panic around trying to figure out how to get out of it. The one that can see you is how many feet away? So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 feet away from you. It is... Can he do anything? Can take a shot. But with disadvantage. Yeah. He's so the one that's got the cleaver out, kind of like basically he's got like supplies by his tent. He kind of like goes and picks it up and aims towards you, Jackal. He's going to take a shot.
Fucking bring it, bitch.
But it's with disadvantage, so you're lucky. What is it? 80 feet? Let's count how many exact feet. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So you're... Oh, it's 40 feet, so it's times 2, so 80, yeah. Just on the mark. Does... he rolled a natural 1. So he throws it back, fires at you, and it kind of goes really wide and on the end of the wooden structure, which is the side. The rest of the goblins are going to make some intelligence rolls.
Let's get some. I'm sure that will go great.
We'll find out.
Yeah. They're famous for being intelligent.
1, 2, 3, 5. It's a fail. It's a fail. It's a fail. That's right. Okay. So you see. 1, 2, 3. 2 goblins emerge. 5, 10, 20, 30. Just peering out of the area. Let's say you can put you can have 2 in one space at this time, I think. because it's 5 inches. So just out of the area, Salvation, you find 2 goblins appear out of this mystical darkness into your direction. And they kind of come out with their blades drawn, looking towards you scarcely, and they are ready to attack. I think, let's just see if one of them does it. You're going to take 2 arrows coming straight at you. One at Jackal and one at Salvation.
Oh.
Actually, no, who's doing the... Yeah, because I saw you doing the spell, so they would. Otherwise, it's different. Jackal, 21 to hit.
Does hit.
That is 3 piercing damage.
Copy that.
As it hits you in the shin. Salvation, 19 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
That is through 7 piercing damage.
Oh, fuck it. Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. I'm gonna use my reaction.
Okay, yep.
And cast Hellish Rebuke.
Go for it.
Why the fuck not, right? Might as fucking well at this
Go for
point.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Jesus.
So that's a 13 dex save.
Oh, that's true, because you're concentrating on the...
Oh, yeah, and a con save. I didn't realise it was concentration, actually.
It's an ability, though, Hellish Rebuke.
It's
not a spell. It's an ability of a tiefling.
And so is Darkness.
Oh.
But it does say concentration, but it is a racial ability.
Yeah, it's a racial ability, Hellish Rebuke.
So do I still need to make the con save?
You will have to if you've been hit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Hellish Rebuke, though.
Oh,
Don't know if you can do that at higher level.
It automatically is when you level up.
Yeah, when you level up.
Okay, so...
It's always cast at second level, but you get the higher level when you cast it because it doesn't use a spell slot.
Saying that goblin's dead.
Because I can only use it once a day.
Yeah, I'm beginning.
And 17 for my con save.
You absolutely can maintain concentration on your darkness.
Excellent. And what did the goblin get as his dex save?
Let me just have a look. I'm just trying to see what your thing is. Sal, can you just go to your core? Sorry,
yeah.
I'm just looking at your sheet. What's your spell save DC, just so I know, just in the future? So your concentration.
13.
That's fine.
Oh, that's what that means. I mean, I knew that, obviously.
Did you just
I know how to play D&D.
That's what that means. Right.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. Let me just check, see what the goblins get. So that is a what check? A dexterity saving throw. Let's have a look. They got to get 13. I got 15.
Oh, it passes, but it still takes half that, so it takes
damage.
12. It takes 12 fire damage.
Bloody hell! As you see, this goblin just get completely incinerated and goes up in flames, just literally from head to toe. You see it just go through one of its kind of core, through its chest area. The next one, and it kind of goes and burns up into a cinder, into ash, and falls down dead.
Oh, I just as she casts it as well. I didn't think to mention it because she'd be shouting in Infernal when she did it, but his tongue's still up.
Yeah, I would say so for a few more minutes.
In which case, everyone would hear in this weird Infernal accent, just how the fuck dare you?
Absolutely, and that dark goblin is incinerated into ash. He's gone. He's dead.
I want to see the look on Woober's face after that.
Woober doesn't get a go at the moment. Well, actually, he does. He should get a go. Let me just pop him in.
Yeah, like, what's his face?
I've got so much stuff to juggle right now.
Him.
I hate you, Jackal.
I just killed a goat. Well, I didn't even kill the goat.
It's got so hairy so quickly.
Actually, Woober got an 18, so pretty good. would be... Okay, so that finishes their go. This goblin's going to move up. That's 10, 20, 30. It's going to move this way, just there. As he's kind of like past the goats, jump over that blooded goat, and kind of looks towards you, Jackal. It's your turn.
Cool. Okay, brilliant. Right. I'm immediately going to draw my swords and say, as I take the arrow to the shin, fucking head first. And then I'm going to silent speech inside, which I believe is a free action anyways in combat, because it doesn't say it's an action. So, because it's just like talking anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm going to silent speech inside to
Either one of us, doesn't matter.
to Sentry. I can only do one at a time. I'm going to silent speech to Sentry and say, we got trouble out here. As I'm going to run forwards, I'm going to run underneath Sal's legs using halfling nimbleness, and I'm going to slash at this goblin
you
in
say,
front
"Oh,
of
for
me.
God's sake, Izzy," but
Let me
What?
pop you in the
Shut
same
it
space.
I know, but
It's 10 foot space, so it's 5 foot each. Yeah, so you're 5 foot away.
Okay,
from,
cool.
Yeah.
How much have I moved then? Sorry, space-wise, how much are we talking?
So you've done 5, 10, 15, 20. This would be 25 feet.
25. Okay, cool. Just so I know what to do. Okay, first swing at the goblin. Oh, lucky natural one. I get to re-roll.
Roll again.
Thank God I remember that. But now I have to take this new roll, whatever it is.
Hey! What? No way. As you slash up and what happens is in narrative form. So your blade goes to the goblin and it's surely going to miss, but something happens to your element, to your form, where you poise yourself and go in again. It's almost like a double take, and you stab him right through the chest as this goblin goes and goes limp on the end of your blade.
Nice. I think that's the first time I've used lucky in combat, because I always forget.
Yeah.
Nice.
Unless you're Sam Regal.
Yeah.
48
okay.
to go.
So, 1 down, 48 to go. Yeah, and then I'm just going to move back, so that's another 10 feet, isn't it? So that's 35.
I'd say 5 feet, so yeah.
Okay,
well,
fine.
it depends how much you want to move into that square. So first split the square, yeah, we'll call it 5
I'll move
feet.
back as far as I can,
Yeah,
because
so-
I got
okay.
45 feet movement, so
Okay.
then that'll be my full move.
Well, I'm going to put you on the edge there, because now then I know.
Cool. And yet then I guess I'll just use my bonus action just to say, Athena, climb on top of the building.
Okay.
And that'll be the end of my turn. I'll have a look at that then, Luke.
is Wilbur gonna still be on our team?
Oh no, I do. Yeah, Luke, I do have it on.
Well,
But
it
for
was
some
like
reason
the
it
runt of the
doesn't do
little, so
anything.
maybe.
Hopefully.
So,
If not, stab.
interestingly enough, it's Woober's go. And
Yeah.
he... I think this is quite a nice way to put it. So, Jackal, did you talk to Sentry then? Just in that...
Yes.
Okay. So, as our camera pans over Woober, looking very nervously towards Salvation with his bow, towards the door, not really knowing which way he's going to go. And as our camera pans into the room with all the flesh and rotten meats, as Oakland's just finished a spell and Sayer is kind of like tinkering around, and Sentry just hears this in his ear, and the camera ends at the, let's just say, the cinematic way where Sentry kind of looks towards the camera as he hears Jackal's voice. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
God, the entire next session is going to be a battle.
Oh my god, what have
this
we done?
is going to be all out chaos. This is
That's
by
gonna be
far
great.
the
It's
most
gonna be great.
chaotic thing
Hey,
we've done yet.
it's goblins.
Money!
It's gonna be
Oh, you
fun.
wanted the head of one goblin?
It's
Yeah.
fine. They all die. This Spellex guy
We
can
can
just
take
sign the
Wilbur.
treaty. We go back. We give the a peace treaty back. We tell the dude we killed them
Yeah,
all.
come on, come on.
and-
We're sending that.
No,
I shut
we
up, God.
killed them all. We killed them all. There was no
And
quotation.
not just the men,
Killing them all.
but the
We
women
killed
and the children too. I hate them. I slaughtered them like animals.
Jesus.
Thank you so
them. I
much for
feel against
watching.
the rest of the guys.
Please
Oh
make-
no, we should be peaceful. So it's just like, they're holding me back.
Please make sure you subscribe to our channels relatively. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, because if you're not, what are you doing? Because, like, you know, we'd like to do this stuff, and it makes us feel good. Follow the Dungeon Delvers on Instagram and like our stuff, and watch out for some new content made by me, because I'm going to make some new impressions videos and things, because why not? But besides that, it's bye from me. Bye from the
Bye
kids.
from me.
Go on, let's go to line. Go on.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were gonna do.
How are we doing that? then?
Leaving Brady Bunch.
Wait,
Wow.
it's a line of people. So, Razor, me.
Okay. Come on, high five. You're going to have to...
I'll go up. Sorry. Wait, I gotta get on the camera. Yeah, no.
I can't.
There you go, cam close.
Yeah,
Yeah, cross, close.
Wait,
Hey,
wait.
Luke, pull me
Oh
up.
Oh no, Jamie isn't there. Fuck you, Jamie.
Anyway.
Anyway, on that very embarrassing exit, I mean, I can prove that Jackal is doing something as well, but, you know, we can't. We'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye.